Oh my God.
It's sick looking, dude.
so cool.
I am pissed I didn't get one because now you go on eBay and they're selling for like
They're like
$1,000.
they're like a grand. Dude, that's like $7,000.
Just like ridiculous amount of money to get one of those now.
Yeah.
This is just so irrelevant.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Irrelevant Podcast. We got our first out-of-state guest.
Wow.
Let's go.
We are really moving up in the world of podcasts.
We've made it. We finally got a guest on the show that wasn't our own girlfriends.
And actually 3 mics. 3
There you go.
mics.
Let's go.
3 mics.
I was gonna say, I'm the first guest technically that wasn't the girls, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a big honor.
So I said that there was like, yo, we got our first real guest coming on. Jason's like, what? I was the first real guest.
Yeah, Em
And I
was not happy about that one.
Kind of. I mean, kind of, sort of.
Em's like, she's really upset.
I mean, they are the first guest.
They
but,
were the first.
But like, you know,
yeah,
they live here.
This
so
is
like,
the brother. The brother.
The brother.
the brother.
So-
the first
brotherhood.
male guest.
There you go. The first male guest. We'll go with that.
Our boy Ch0pper is here. Ch0pper, AKA Sam.
There it is.
But
A lot
no-
of people still don't know that.
No one says Sam.
No one knows your name?
Well, I wouldn't say no one knows it, but like it's just it's funny because like I noticed you did it when we went downstairs, but like all of our
I
friends
introduced you as Chop.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah,
it's always
that's
just
true.
Chop.
I didn't even
Which
think about
isn't
that.
which I'm not necessarily saying is a bad thing. It's just like it's interesting, like because we
Yeah.
call like Joe, we call him like Joey Conway all the time. Like
You-
everyone's
I
got
never do
their
that.
nickname.
What do you say? Do you say Joe?
No, I know you guys do the Joey Conway. I was like, yeah, what up, Joe? Like, Joey.
Wow, bro. You gotta say Joey Conway.
But that's
so much better.
he's never been Joey Conway to me.
He's Joey Conway.
I know, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. That was like that was an interesting observation. Where it's just like everyone
Yeah.
calls me.
I should
Chop, but,
probably
like,
tell her your actual name. Do you prefer being called your real name or Chop?
it's weird because like I feel like gotten used to it at this point. Like no
Yeah.
matter which name people use, like you can like use Sam or you can use Chop. It doesn't really matter. Especially like it's less weird when my YouTube friends do it, but like
when
my real life
life
friends
friends
do
say-
it at home, it's like kind of weird. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, bro.
So I feel that.
Do people around you say Sam? Like,
Yeah, for the
Okay.
most part. Especially my family, they'll never
Yeah.
call me by my YouTube name.
No, you know what? Now that you put it that way, I kind of feel bad because like some other friends in real life I have, when we're living in Z House, bro,
Yeah.
they call me Hollywood now, which is totally like, what do you
Hollywood?
mean?
What is
'Cause
Hollywood?
It was in Hollywood. The Z House was in
Oh.
Hollywood. So I show up to football and they're like, yo, what up, Hollywood? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what? When did this happen? Like, oh, you're living in Hollywood. And I was like, well, I guess it's fair. So yeah, no, I think Sam is the way I'm gonna go.
we need
Unless
to try
you-
going at least a week saying Sam.
Good luck.
I can't do it. It's so
I
hard.
could do it. It's just once you got it, just once you get the switch flipped, then you know.
It was like a running joke for a long time in our friend group that like, who is Sam? Because you'd say the word Sam and everybody'd be like, huh?
We'd be like,
that's
"Ooh."
just true, I
Huh? Who's
guess.
Sam?
That's true.
Well, Sam, hello. Welcome
How you
to the
doing?
podcast.
Welcome, man.
Welcome to Irrelevant.
Oh, the E went out.
Broke again. No.
When I got here, the E was working and we started recording and it's not. So I
No
don't
one's
know.
ever made a statement about it. I thought someone would notice, but that E doesn't light up. It's very hard to tell on camera,
Yeah.
but it doesn't light up. And it was for a second, and now it's gone again. So the E is irrelevant.
We thought it was working, but it
well.
decided not to. It gave
I
up.
thought you had the mojo, man. I thought you changed
I
the
brought it
sign
with
for
me, man.
good,
I tried.
but I guess not. So
I
you're here
attempted.
for the weekend in LA.
Yeah.
Tell me, walk me through it. You just showed
Why?
up.
Can we just ask why?
Look, that's a fair question. Yeah, so like, I mean, literally for the past year, I've really gone nowhere, and I realize that only now. I'm like, God, I haven't really like left my house or done anything, and for obvious reasons. But like,
Yeah.
you know, I was just like, I was feeling incredibly trapped where I was, and like, it was also starting to rub off on my content a little bit, where I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to make videos. I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was trying to expand what I was doing in the minimal ways that I actually could leave the house or you know, do other things. But like, I needed to do something a little more like dramatic, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't think traveling to see my friends for a weekend is that dramatic to begin with. But like, it was just like, I was talking to a friend and they made it very clear to me. They're like, it's pretty obvious the choice you should make. You should go see your friends. You
Get
should have
somewhere, yeah.
that experience, even if it's going to be short-lived.
I think you're the first friend that we've seen really out of state people that we No, I think you're the first one that I've seen in like literally a
In a year.
long time. A
Yeah.
long time.
You two are the first that I've seen for sure this year.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing not seeing your friends for that long.
Yeah. I think last time we hung out was
May have been Texas.
yeah,
For me, it was Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was over a year ago now. It was last summer. It's like a year and a couple months.
Shout
which
out
is-
to anyone living in Austin, Texas. We wish we could be there. Me, anyways.
Speak for yourself.
Catch me there, bro.
Nah, I know.
But
I
like,
love Austin so much.
Nah, it's awesome.
may
So-
ha-
super cool.
it may not have been like looking at it from an outside perspective. It may not have been the most like reasonable decision to make. It's like, but
So
I
yeah.
think I've come to the conclusion that like that's okay. Like the way I've noticed about myself, like and the choice that I made, like you're not gonna have a straightforward life, and like you shouldn't pretend like you need to have one. So I think this was just like a manifestation of that, where it's like I can go to LA this weekend if I want to, and I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna see my friends and have that experience.
So it was just like you just wanted to get out, get
Yeah.
out of the house, get out of the the town for a bit, and just take a trip.
And right, and the thing is, it's worked. I feel significantly more focused now. Where when I actually go back home, I'm going to be able to like do my thing a lot more effectively than I was doing before.
Do you think you just needed to see friends and like kind of just get a little break, or is it more of a you just getting bogged down with the day to day tedious grind of the same thing every day, more or less? Like was it more of like a personal thing, or is it more about work, or
It's hard to say. I think to some degree it's both. I think to some degree it's definitely both. And that was actually why I chose here, because like I realistically could have gone like a million other places too,
Right.
but this was probably the best way to address both of those issues at the same time. And like that seemed to have did the trick.
you just got here yesterday, yeah?
Yeah.
So in 24-hour turnaround,
Yeah.
He gets here and just goes,
levitating.
It was just yeah, no. It was
What about LA? Was the like what was the reasoning for LA as opposed to like Austin or somewhere about with family or something like that?
I could have went to Austin, but I mean, really, the only person I know there is Noah, and like he's got he's got his YouTube channel. He's got a literal wife to spend time with.
He does have a wife.
So I'm like,
I love that literal
wife.
so yeah, it's just like I narrowed down a few options. I was like, I know I'm gonna go somewhere. I just don't know exactly where. But ultimately, I made the decision to come here, and yeah, and like specifically getting on and doing the podcast was like something I also wanted to do at some point, and it made sense just to do it now.
We talked about, I think so people don't know this too much, but at one point, I don't think you'll mind me saying this, but at one point, I remember me and you were potentially going to live together in Austin.
Yeah.
And that was going to be a thing. And it's really weird because I think we had ideas back then of like, if we do that, we're going to do a podcast or something like that. So I like the fact that you're here as our first guest because I feel like we talked about the fact that we would love to do like something like this, like just talk and chill. And you love doing this, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So I just think it's really cool. You're like the first person we've really had on out of all the guys because you wanted to do this really bad, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And we like thought about it, and then I can't remember what happened, but I think that was like before you got your house, right? Which we might talk about that a little bit too. But
Yeah, we should. And I forget where it was, but I remember there was one point where I asked all the Zombies guys, or we were talking about it somewhere at some event, like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you really want to do outside of gaming, outside of what you're doing right now? Like, what's your long-term goal? And I remember you saying, I want to do a podcast as maybe one of the things, or maybe like one of the main things.
That was definitely one of them, yeah.
And you I was like, whoa. Because I don't even remember when this was. It might have been Texas last year. I don't remember.
I think it was Texas.
dude, Texas,
It came out of
so
left
many
field for
things
me.
happened.
It was.
Really?
Texas was great.
Yeah.
And I really miss having that this year. But you said that and I was like, wow, that stuck with me because I feel like a lot of people have said that, but you like really meant it. You really wanted to do like an in-person legit podcast and really go hard with it. So is that still like something you want to try to do?
Yeah, 100%.
long-term?
And like it's weird because as much as I want to do one, I always feel like I'm not prepared enough for it, or like that I'm not wise enough to do a podcast. So I always tell myself like I'm gonna wait till I get older and wait till I do more to do it.
To talk about the experiences.
Yeah, and I think that's partly true, but I think it's like self-fulfilling as well, where it's like I'll just wait forever and never do it if I don't do it at some point. So like getting on one and actually talking through that is like, yeah, you should probably just go and do a podcast. You know what I mean? Like,
why are you pointing at me?
I pointed at Matt because he said getting older, and I was just, I was just thinking about the fact that I'm like,
no, you're right though.
I'm thinking like Chop, how
old are you?
Younger than me.
I'm 22.
22. You're 24.
No,
23.
23.
23, and I'm 27.
So there it is, right there.
Dude, I keep forgetting if I'm 27 or 28. That's when you know it's getting bad, because I keep thinking, oh my god, wait a minute, am I 28 or 27? The fact that I don't know my own age is a scary thing.
Yeah.
But anyway,
let's just say 27. 27.
Yeah. The reason we'll call it, I am 27. I know my name. I know my age. But the reason I wanted to bring that up is because like we're doing one now, and I've wanted to do one for the better part of a year as well.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was
not as badly as you, I don't think. But the reason I never wanted to do it is because I don't like the virtual podcasts. And I feel like a lot of the guests we would have on and things we would talk about have to be virtual, because a lot of our, connections and people of relevance are online. They're the boys that live all over the place, live all over the country, live all over the
especially with
world.
the state of the world right now.
Right now, especially, exactly. Yeah. But then you came here and I was like, I kind of just came to fruition. I was like, let's go. Like I've always wanted to do an in-person one, because you can't.
It's incredibly
so different. Different.
The conversation will literally go different ways. Like just being there with other people and reading facial expressions in real time and everything is like.
Yeah, like I just pointed at Matt and he saw me point at him.
There's little nuances like that you'll never get virtually.
The other thing I hate about it is like you don't mean to, but I feel like a lot of times people cut each other off and not understand that like, oh, it's like I'm trying to talk. But here you can very easily tell like, oh, it's okay, he's going to talk. I'm not going to talk over him, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, it's hard to do that sometimes with delay online as well.
Exactly. It's tough. So
you know when you watch like a news broadcast and someone's like interviewing somebody and they wait like 5 seconds.
Yeah, they're like
thanks, Tim.
All right. Exactly, bro. Exactly. That's the struggle of it. So I'm stoked. I'm stoked that you're our like first true guest, and that it's kind of like coming full circle a little bit. But I hope you end up doing one, man. And if you do, like I definitely would love to come on it.
Yeah.
Same.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'll have you guys as the first guest on mine then eventually.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on as your first guest. And like my question was like about to be, did you ever have like that same feeling where like you don't know if it's the right time to start a podcast, or is that just a me thing?
In my old age, I've come to realize that, and this is actually to a fault, and you've mentioned this, if you have an idea, you have to just go for it when you have the idea.
We talked a lot about how Matt has
too many ideas.
And it's in the not like making fun of you way. It's more more like it's a thing that you were incredibly amazing at, but also it's like you have so many ideas that you can't tackle each one sometimes.
Yep. No, it's definitely something that. Yeah, you're right. It's a fault. It's like too many ideas to a fault.
It's not like a fault.
Because I can't do all of them. You just can't.
Yeah.
So that's something I've worked on this year, especially. I've had so many ideas this year, and I've tackled with the company a lot of them. But it's like kind of weeding out the ones that are not as important and focusing on. Actually, I think it's Warren Buffett. It's got like make a list of 30 things you want to do in your life,
and then you narrow it down.
Cross out the least 25. Pick 5 of them. And don't even think about the other ones.
And
like just focus on those 5.
Exceptionally well.
Exactly.
And that's what the money is. That's what the gold is.
Exactly.
Right?
So
like at some point you got to pick one lane, or else you end up being nothing.
Yeah. But the reason I say like go for it now is because if you wait, it's never gonna happen. Mm-hmm. You just get like
and that's weird. It's like I rationally know that too, but like I don't know. It's like
it's kind of like for. You go ahead.
When I
I just made a point about cutting people off, and then I did it.
when I was like seriously considering doing like YouTube like full time, let's say, like I would come with a million reasons why I shouldn't, and those are valid reasons, right? But it's also like there's so many reasons not to do it, but like there's also a ton of reasons that like that will be bad if you don't go for it. And like that makes a lot more sense when you frame it in the sense of starting a podcast eventually, because like if I don't do it, I'm never going to.
Yeah.
But I and that's part of like me realizing that like my life is never going to be straightforward, but like you want to just ideally make yourself into the person that's capable of living that kind of life.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about I would say, I think we had a couple episodes at the very beginning where we had questions about like, what's your 3-year plan? What's your 5-year plan kind of thing? And it was wild, like talking about it. But I think the main thing that we kept hitting home is, like you said, I would say in the content creator world, it changes rapidly, and it definitely is like who knows what happens, right? But I think just in general as well, just like outside of just the profession of this, I think just in general life, like you just don't have any idea what's going to happen. Like I think with COVID, especially this year, it's like no one could have seen this coming. And not only that, like, again, like we talked about before, like I thought I was going to be living in Austin. I talk so highly of Austin, but I really thought I was going to be living in Austin for years. And I'm here now starting a podcast with Matt.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah. I didn't think I would live anywhere close to you. I always thought that like you were probably one of the furthest away from me out of everybody. Besides from like the UK guys.
Right.
But I always knew you were like really, really far. And I was like I would love to hang out, but I just didn't like the fact that this is possible is nuts to me. I love it.
Well, I mean, if you didn't move here, this podcast wouldn't exist.
Yeah, probably.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It wouldn't, because I would never have done this. That's what I want to say to your point is like when you want to start a podcast, you want to do it in the future, but there's also like logistics to it. Mm-hmm. If you want to do a podcast with other people in person, you have to have the people in person. Mm-hmm. And if they're not ready for that yet, and it's not possible, like that's what I'm saying. If you didn't move here, I never would have started this. None of this would be going, at least for me.
All right, I'll take 100.
So, thank you for making it happen. No, I'm serious, because like I wanted to do a podcast, but I didn't ever want to do a virtual one, because I mean we did the Zombros thing, like that's also a different topic, but it's just very different, and it's something that I wasn't very interested in doing unless I could do it the right way or the way I wanted to do it.
Yeah, because we know you too, and like you love the setups, like you love like having like something like. You love recording a video, like actually shooting a project, right?
Yeah, I like it to look good.
Yeah.
I want to put effort into what I'm doing, essentially.
Yeah, and recording on Discord is
well, it can be
all
okay.
Power to you, but like it's
less than ideal.
It's less than
just
ideal.
Different.
Like
you just said, you don't have the mannerisms, you don't have the interaction.
Yeah.
It's a very different. Not that it's not good, but it's just different. Mm-hmm. Like I think this podcast with you being a person is 10 times different and will be a lot better for the audience, especially than if you had done it like via Discord.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I love how this podcast is literally just like talking about being on a podcast.
Breaking the fourth wall hardcore.
A little bit.
We're just like, dude, this is so awesome to have you here on this podcast. Just like it's a podcast, man.
It's great,
like,
dude.
It's so awesome you're here on the podcast. We should probably actually ask you a question.
All right. Well, what else have you been up to? You bought a house, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How's that going?
It was interesting. It was like
wait, hold on. Sorry to cut you off, but Ch0pper is like the youngest out of all of us.
I mean,
maybe out of all of our
22,
friends.
right?
Mm-hmm. Are you older than Lex?
Yes, by like a week.
Okay. But still.
So you bought your house at 22?
That's insane.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Huge
Walk me
congrats
through it.
on
Thanks.
that, by the way.
Well, it was just like, it was one of those things that, because it was shortly after we decided we didn't want to live in Austin.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need a place to live. And
Were you living at home at that point?
Mm-hmm. And I knew that I knew I definitely didn't want an apartment, and like more power to everybody who has an apartment and makes it work. But like to some degree, I very much enjoy my space. And I also wanted like it to be viable for, what I do, like recording and streaming and everything. So like noise was a factor. And it just, where I was at the time, I was like, it wasn't going to work. And so because like interest rates for property was incredibly low at the time as well. Everything just kind of fell into place.
Pre-COVID?
Yes.
It was as it was beginning.
Okay. So the interest rates were falling off.
Mm-hmm. And just so what happened was basically everything just weirdly fell into place for this like insane deal. And I'm like, why not, man? Like,
yeah.
And it's been like, it's been good, like I can't complain. I've got a place to call home, and like I can travel places if I want to, and I can come back there when I'm done. And then in the future I can leave that house and maybe go to a new one somewhere else.
Right, and you're building equity in a house as opposed to just paying rent somewhere.
Yeah, and that's kind of that was the basis behind it. Was just like what's your long term plan here? Like what's the long game? So I bought that with the mindset of like I'll live here for a chunk of my life, and then when I move on and do some more things and like other doors open, I can move out of there whenever I want, and then go from there.
Yeah. No, I very much agree with that mindset. The minute I was able to buy a place, like I'm buying a place.
Yeah.
Instead of paying rent every month, I'm paying it towards something that I own at least. So
Thank you.
this guy's like, I'm not.
I'm bleeding money.
But you're living an experience right now.
That's true.
That's true.
Unfortunately, you picked a terrible time. Like,
yeah.
not to make you feel bad, but like the worst time possible to be in this amazing spot. I'm not going to say where, but like one of the best spots in LA, hands down.
Well, here's the thing with my thing. It's so funny talking to Ch0pper about this because it's so different. With my thing, I actually, when I originally moved, I didn't expect to work from home as long as I am currently doing.
Yeah.
And it might actually be even longer.
Oh, no.
Right? So, and I think that's the same way for a lot of people in LA, right? Like it's working from home, like it's just become the new norm. And I basically just had the realization literally this week that probably I could have stayed in Austin for maybe even another lease term.
Another full year.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not quite sure, but like at least half a year more, right?
Right.
And that realization just sort of hit me, and I'm like, well, first of all, rip hanging out with Noah. Like I totally could have hung out with Noah. But at the same time, though, you brought up a good point earlier too, where you're like, yeah, but we wouldn't have started this podcast, and yeah, we wouldn't be hanging out, and yeah, I wouldn't have met Emmy.
Yeah. I think Emmy is the biggest of those three.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the podcast, love hanging out, but in the grand scheme of things, like
we would not have known each other, which is weird.
I mean, moving from that, to Texas to LA is a huge deal.
Yeah.
But your relationship is going pretty well.
Yeah,
I'd say that's probably
really happy.
the biggest thing that you would have missed out on.
Yeah.
Had you not moved.
But the thing that I'm thinking as well is as soon as I have the opportunity of, I don't know when that time will come, but as soon as I have the opportunity, I would love to actually just have my own place somewhere, really. But I think because I'm in LA, it's harder to do that.
Do you not want to have your own place here?
I don't know. I'm unsure.
Do you see yourself being here for a couple years? Not a couple years?
I see
you
myself.
had to guess.
I see myself being here for a couple years.
Like 2 years or 5 years?
I don't know if I even put a timestamp to it.
Don't know. Just going with
I just
flow?
don't know. But the foreseeable future is here. I don't. There is no like thing in my head where I'm like, oh, I'm planning on getting a house in Austin right now or anything.
How does Emmy feel about that?
What?
Getting a house in Austin?
Oh, she's awesome. She would want to for sure.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But the thing is like I think we both know we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here in LA for
a little bit.
Yeah,
at least.
But the thing is like what. Well, I was gonna ask you is so like we have the opposite thing. Like I'm like I feel like I'm in that like renting thing where I'm just like, oh great, there goes another this amount of money every single month, and I just feel like I'm like bleeding money to nothing. Like how much like I guess I know there's mortgages and stuff like that, but like how does it feel that your money's actually just like being used towards something that's like actually getting like accomplished? Does it feel like a lot better, or do you feel super, or do you still feel like, oh shoot, I'm still like, it's still like a large amount of money, right? Like how does that feel?
That's the thing is like it's partly true, or like you pay a mortgage, like whatever, but it's like I've always been naturally a saver as far as like my money habits.
Yeah.
Always very much so. And like, it just goes very naturally where like, I don't even think about it anymore. Like it just kind of gets paid. I'm just like, that'll like, it's just like the idea of that, like, I'm just sacrificing this now and I don't have to think about it, but like this will pay off in ways I can't even comprehend right now in the future.
Yeah.
So like, it's not like, it doesn't weigh on my mind that much at all, to be honest, which is a nice feeling. I'm sure Matt probably can relate to some degree.
Like I mean,
It's there, but it's not.
to keep it simple. Like you could be paying X, you can pay rent or you can pay mortgage. And for my situation, it ended up being somewhat close. So why would I pay someone else when I can pay myself back? Essentially, I'm buying this house out, and when it's all said and done, I'll own the house. Like it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer at that point.
Choice as far
if you
as
can
I'm
get
concerned.
it to be like that.
Yeah.
But it's not always like that. You know, if you can't afford the house and you got to pay a bunch every month, and it's way more than rent would have been. There's also other things like you got to maintain the house.
Yeah.
That is a lot more involved than it sounds.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're realizing that now. Like stuff breaks, things go wrong,
things happen,
and if you
man.
don't know how to
Things
fix
happen.
it, you got to pay someone to fix it, and that gets called. Like it's a process.
Well, do you see the thing for me is I never felt comfortable buying, like I never thought even remotely about getting like a house or something on my own unless I was like fully into a relationship.
To have someone else to help you with it.
That was just me. Yeah. So I feel more encouraged because I'm in a relationship, even though we're like very
Right,
early on, but I do feel more encouraged to think about that more in the future. But I think like foreseeable future, I don't think I'm going to live where I'm living right now for past the year.
This year right now?
Or past the
Another
year
year.
on the lease.
Oh, okay. When is like July?
It's like June or July, yeah, somewhere in there. And I want to get more of like an actual like just bigger space because like you mentioned, just having like a larger space, and I like how this room right here is just kind of like a little studio room right now. You know?
It's
And
like
I would love to have something like that. Just
an extra room just to kind of do stuff. Yeah.
yeah, like just to get like if I can somehow do it, like a multiple bedroom thing.
You can.
With M. It'd probably have to be with her at some point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's like what I see in my future is like us doing something like that, and then having like one of the rooms is a studio room.
As your space. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel better about that than my setup's in the living room and I don't have any space, but I'm still spending
tough.
so much money to live here.
And I hate to say it, but you really did get kind of screwed. Badly. Because you're living in a great spot,
But then
and you're paying
nothing's
for
open.
it, but there's nothing to like, everything's closed. So it's kind of like, it defeats the purpose
Yeah.
of where you're at, which sucks. I mean, it sucks, but
Do you like your location of like your place that you got? Chop?
Location
For
is
audio listeners.
interesting. Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's not the biggest town in the world, and so it's just like it's relatively quiet. But like,
Yeah.
I have like a lot of my friends that I grew up with still kind of around there and stuff. So like, I bought it fully with the intention of like, it's not a long term situation. It's like shorter to medium term.
yeah.
Because eventually, like, I think I do want to end up getting a house in Austin at some point. So whenever that happens to come around, you know, I'll deal with it when it gets there. But yeah, I mean, location's fine. It just like, it was too good of a situation to pass up on it when it happened. And so now I'm just riding it through.
Yeah.
That's still like, I just want to note one more time, like huge congrats on that because I don't think it's
It's a big deal.
Dude, that's-
buying your first house at 22.
that's crazy. Like that's crazy in a good way. Like I think.
Yeah.
Like
No, I mean, that's impressive.
that's
and
a
I
super
respect
big
it. I bought this place at 23. So you even earlier than me, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of people out there that are 22 buying a house.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with
I
you.
usually try not to talk about that like too much because like, I don't know, it just sounds like tacky, but like,
Oh, it's
No, I mean,
like it sounds like a flex or something.
yeah,
it's not even,
whatever.
it's not a
I don't
flex,
even
dude.
think
It's
it's a
just, it's
flex
a
at all.
financially smart decision.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. And I know you maybe don't want to say that, but I'll say it.
Dude, he'll
know?
say that.
I'm serious. Like, if you have the ability to do it, I recommend doing it. But if not everyone's situation is
Right,
like
right.
that, like you had it, like the circumstances just worked out. Like the interest rate, you're basically getting free money right now. If you borrow money right now, it's so cheap to pay it back. If you can do it, you should do it.
Dude,
That's
should.
my
and
advice.
that's kind of the like that's just generally kind of the thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys. We're just like kind of the reason I came out here is just because I had the ability to do it right now and spend this time with my friends. So like I think that there's something to be said like with people with extra time sitting around where there's probably something right now that interests you or that like kind of calls to you in some way that you're just maybe putting off to the side that potentially could, you know, make your life significantly better. But like
Happier, right? Just
that, but just like also just to develop you more as a person. And that's what I've tried to spend this past year doing in like almost every way. And so like because I also don't talk about this too much because like I had a lot of guilt when I left college after my first year to do YouTube like full time. And I usually don't talk about it because it's like I was always guilty of what people might think, like, oh, he didn't finish school or doesn't have a degree. And it's kind of hard to tell people like, hey, I'm just going to figure it out. And I think that's important though. Or like I've recently learned to let that go and just like, I'm going to live my life the way I see it through. And I'm going to try and do it in a way that is good for me and also like the people I care about.
Yeah.
So doing something that maybe isn't the most like rational in terms of what other people might think, but maybe is healthy for you and will ultimately be healthy for them. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. Seizing opportunity when you see it. No, I couldn't agree more with that. I mean,
I think a lot of content creators make that choice too. I don't think like you shouldn't feel bad about that. Like, I know you're saying like it's kind of weird how you like I don't know if it feels weird that I feel that way and that all that kind of stuff, but like I feel like there's a bunch of the guys that kind of went through something like that where
I mean,
they sort of
decide.
like they debated like, okay, what's better for me and what's better for just how I am right now and like what I'm doing, what I want to do. And you know, I've always been sorry mom, my mom's a teacher, but I've always been someone who's just like, okay, college is great, but I don't think it's for everybody. I really don't think it's for everybody.
I agree with that.
Especially when it's expensive beyond belief.
Yeah, very.
That's a whole other thing. We could get into that financial situation, but yeah.
No, I mean,
what it is like I absolutely love learning, but I don't like the incredibly structured environment that school was providing. I'm sure you guys could probably relate.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of listeners too, that like whatever that thing is at school that you're just not about it. Like you like learning, but that structure that's around it, you're just, you wither away. And like, I knew I needed to get out of that. But like, I also told myself I need to fill that with other things. So like, I think reading is like an incredibly important thing you can do to like compensate for that. Or just like, you can literally go online, you can go on YouTube, you can take full classes and just listen to lectures for absolutely free. And so like I'll be editing videos or something. I'll be rendering or just doing whatever at home, or just doing stuff around the house, and I'll have podcasts on or I'll have lectures on, things to, you're not going to get like a certification for like you would if you had finished school.
Yeah.
But it's also like that knowledge is still going to be important for something else in your life. And I think that's actually more important than the certification itself.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Forget about the grade. Forget about the piece of paper. Like if you learned it, that's what matters because it's going to show.
Mm-hmm.
It's your portfolio that matters more than anything. Every single.
And I'm sure you guys know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of this kind of stuff, like what we do, it's your portfolio. Yeah. It's not your degree. I've never had anyone ask for my degree yet.
Me neither. Not even really? Once. Not even once. I mean, you look at someone like Chucky, dude. Chucky didn't even go to college.
Yeah.
Kid's crushing it.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a smart kid. Like I sometimes wonder what my path would have looked like if I didn't go to college.
Chucky works for Mr. Beast, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. We want to get Chucky on. I know Chucky listens to these too.
That could be a really good podcast, I think. Yeah. But I wonder like what would the path have been if I didn't go 4 years of college? Mm-hmm. First of all, I'd have $250,000 more than I do now. That's for sure.
Yep.
Can you imagine?
Casual. Dude, this shit was expensive. $65,000 a year.
No joke.
Wait, can you imagine if you just took that money and just gave it to yourself?
It just sounds kind of comical being like, oh yeah, I'd have $250,000. Like that's the truth.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. But also you have 4 years of time. What could you have done with that time? And that just depends on the person. Because some people would just, they'd be complacent and do what they would do. But some people would take advantage of that time and learn their craft.
It does depend on the person.
It does
like make that very clear though. Like
that's fundamentally what it comes down to is the person's behavior once they have.
I think
that
you
time.
have to have a ton of initiative and drive and dedication to whatever it is you're going to do if you don't go to school. Otherwise, I would say go, because at the end of the day, yes, I don't think it's the best system.
But school can also help you find what you
helps you. Yeah, it helps you learn about yourself.
Yeah,
and it helps you learn how to grow up too.
And networking.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the last thing I was going to say. Is that's the
Yeah.
most priceless thing about school is who you meet,
Yep.
about who you know.
Right.
That's like almost the only thing I would say I've gotten out of school is just those relationships have been invaluable down the stretch. What I've learned there, I mean, I barely use any of it. I don't even know if I've used any of it. All the stuff I learned there was outside of class, like doing YouTube that's how I learned how to like use the cameras and the equipment and you know, creative. But yeah, I would say for people listening, like it's a choice you have to make, but if you choose not to go,
I think
you gotta have a certain
if you are
drive.
one of those
you got to
people
know,
that
you got to know what you want to do with your time.
choose not to go, like you got to put like a value system in place for yourself. Like you need to have like some kind of like
It's like I'm going. I'm not doing this.
you need to have a vision for
but
where you're going and why.
Yeah, it's like what you said before, where like you had to have something fill that spot.
Yeah.
Almost, right? Like you have to have something come in and be the substitute of
Yeah,
like,
it's not an excuse to do nothing.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to, in fact, or more importantly, you need to almost overcompensate with that stuff. You need to go an extra step.
Yeah.
because school gives you guidance, and now you don't have guidance. It's like, whoa, wait, you got to figure it out on your own, right?
You
Yeah,
can say
so-
that again. I feel like, and you maybe you don't know this as well because you only did 1 year, but I feel like a lot of kids, at least a lot of my friends now, when you get out of school, bro, it's like now it's up to me. Now I got to decide what I do every day. I have wide open, but I got to put things together to fill my time and to grow as a person and get to my career path. But in school, it's easy. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm in college. I'm at school. Like it's a complacency thing. It's what society expects you to do. It's easy to answer. Like your path's set for you. But the second you're out, the world's open. It's kind of a weird thing. And so I guess my question to you would be like, you only did 1 year, right? When you made the decision not to go anymore, what was like the thing that said like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do school. This isn't my path, but I'm going to do this instead. Was it just like creating content, or was there more to it? Like, do you have a longer term plan, I guess?
It was just more of the fact that like I had such a desire to like learn more that I wasn't getting in school. Like I wanted just to experience significantly more than what school could offer.
What were you in school for?
Like just a basic business degree. I'm like, what am I doing? Like I came to that realization after about a year.
Most people ask that after they finish.
I'm glad
That's
came
what
to
I
that
think. I
conclusion
feel like
sooner.
most people, they get out and they're like, what am I doing? I have a degree, but what am I like? What do I do with it now?
I like, yeah. So I was just like, there's so much more that I feel like I could be putting my time towards. I just had like all these ideas and stuff that I want to do. And like YouTube this like definitely at least high on that priority list. And then I just like talked to a few of my friends about it, but most of them told me to stay in school. And what I realized was like, and that was actually what made me make the decision, because like everybody's telling me to stay in school. I'm like, to be honest, like they're going to end up in the exact same situation I don't want to be in. And like, so maybe I shouldn't take advice from them, or at least as far as what they were telling me about that.
Against the grain.
You did it.
Now it's been a couple years. How is it going? Do you regret the decision?
It was the best decision I ever made. I'm not going to lie.
My man said that so quick too.
Why is it the best decision though?
The amount of responsibility that I was able to take on when I had to figure out what I'm doing every day, when no one was telling me what I need to do that, and I need to build it myself. And like, that's your responsibility for the rest of your life now.
Damn.
That was good.
That was
really good.
dude. This is inspiring the hell out of me.
And like, I actually felt every day when I woke up like, okay, I've got something to do and I want to do it. And that's more important. Like, you want to go and do it.
Yes. Something to get you out of bed and you're excited about, as opposed to getting out of bed and like, oh, I got to go to this class.
I met you guys. I don't think I would have met you guys had I not left school.
I want to ask you about that, because the first time, and I could be wrong on this, but the first time I remember meeting you was you just showed up to the Z House. Like, I don't know if I actually knew who you were. Maybe that's just my own, maybe like the guys knew you already and I was just like clueless. But I remember you showed up and I was like, yo, this guy's sick. And then you just like slept on our couch for a week. And I was like, this guy's dope, but I feel so bad because he's got nowhere to sleep. Like,
yeah, I knew like pretty much the person I
like
knew.
that's dead ass how it was to me. I don't remember anything else
was
other than
pizza.
that.
or Ben, and
So you knew
that's
Pizza?
right.
yeah. So
Okay.
I knew him
Because you were
and-
always playing with Ben back then. Yeah, I remember that.
So I knew him, and then like he was coming out. I was just like,
So
yeah, I'll come along.
what was so you came out just because you knew him, and you were like, screw it, like kind of similar to this.
It was that idea where it's like, okay, I'm not in school right now, and there's like a group of potential, friends that I could go and meet, or at least just see what they're all about. Go and do it. See
Seize
what you make of
opportunity.
it. Mm-hmm.
Dude, those trips, whether it was like ZWC or like Z House or the Austin trip as well, like all those trips, like when you just like meet, there's something we talk about this a little bit, but there's something about when all like everyone around you is a content creator and your mind's just like, it's like this weird hive mind, like it's a very like,
It's inspiring.
it's a very ethereal like thing. Like it feels like really like, I don't want to say magical because that sounds kind of cheesy, but I swear like every time we've all been on a trip and like the conversation we're having right now, this is the normal.
Yeah,
like genuinely,
pretty much.
we'll have like
this is like a
conversations.
small example of what it is. It's
Yeah,
just
but-
this time's like 5 because there's
Yeah.
just a bunch more people with
Yeah.
different ideas and different mindsets.
and you like you throw,
perspectives.
you throw ideas out to each other and stuff, and you start seeing like, okay, like all these people like have, especially all the guys in our friend group, like, I mean, a lot of you guys are like so driven that it just blows me away every single time.
It's motivating.
That's
It's
that's
super
why I think it's so
motivating. It
important
motivates
to
you so much.
surround yourself with people like that.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the major drivers of why I left, because it's like the people around me at the time were not, and I was just like, why am I here? I need
Yeah.
to surround with myself
Yeah.
with people that are
gonna push you.
pushing
That
me
was-
to be better.
That
Yes.
was so hard for me in college, where I absolutely love my friends that I had in college, but it was so hard for me to feel like I fit in
Same.
with whatever societal structure that was of, there's like, I don't know, like a sorority event going on this night, and there's like some other thing happening, and here's like some club that's going on about this thing, about the football game and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, where's like the boys? Like where's like where's
Where's the boys?
I don't know how to describe what I mean, but I think
Yeah.
y'all know what I'm talking about. Like
I know exactly what
I
you're
always
talking
kind of felt like an outsider to whatever that societal thing was of college.
Yeah.
I went through the whole thing. Do I regret it? No, I'm glad I have my degree. Like just because it's like nice to have as like a backbone thing. It's less scary, right? So my like thing, like I'm happy that I did it, but oh my God, like do I agree with you so much of like, like I just felt so like it's just so weird where it's like because in college too, like I was the kid who would like come home from class and I'd be like, no, I can't hang out, I can't go to the bars tonight because I'm gonna go record this,
Make videos.
yeah, make videos or stream or whatever, and like
me.
people be like, dude, just come out, like
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I gotta stream tonight.
I feel you on that.
And it's like it you have to literally be your own boss and be like, okay, no, I literally have to do this, and like you don't understand why I have to do this. And some people do get it, like my buddy DC. Like we all love DC here. Like DC's so
Yeah.
nice, right? He's always gotten it. But there's always the rare few too that they come over and they're like, what do you just come out, dude? Like what are you doing? Like
Yeah.
like what's going on? And you're like, dude, no, you don't understand. Like
Building, you're working on something much bigger than
going
the
to
parties
the bar that
or
night.
being the frat, the alpha dog at the frat house.
Yeah. And look, no judgment if that's, what you
No,
want
I'm
to do.
just,
I'm just
think,
saying like,
I think the point I would be trying to make is that if you are in college, those type of things are temporary.
yes.
Live them while you can,
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
but you ultimately the most important thing is building your life how you want it to go.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, because I've lived through it, like those moments in college, you want to appreciate them, but they are not forever. Once you're out of college, like you'll have a lot of friendships that'll continue.
Yeah.
But a lot of the things that people value a lot in college kind of go out the window as soon as you get into the real world, And that's something that I think a lot of my friends didn't get at the time that I saw like very differently than most of my friends in college. 'Cause I was in a fraternity,
Yeah.
and in the fraternity, bro, weekends And anytime you weren't doing like schoolwork, whatever you had to do, like you were hanging with the boys, partying, having fun, like building a social status, becoming someone. And now it's like that stuff doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter anymore. You build those friendships for life. That's great.
The friendships
I respect
do.
that. And you have that network that can help you in your career as well. But instead of going to those, like I went to a lot of parties, but I also stayed home a lot, and I would get shit for it. People would be like, "Yo, like, why are you never around? Why are you never here? Why don't you care? Why like you're not being involved enough in this like in our like our Greek family and what we're doing and like these events we're having, and you're not giving your input." I'm like, dude, I gotta make videos right now. Like I care about this shit. I had to get when I was pledging, bro, because it's like nonstop. It's nonstop when you're pledging. It's 24/7 for the whole 6-8 weeks. I had to get permission from the pledge master to take time off to just make videos.
Oh my gosh.
I had to like go and physically like request time.
Wow.
Luckily he let me do it, because if he didn't, I wouldn't have done any videos for like 6 weeks, which would have been terrible. But all I'm saying is like you need to value you need to keep the bigger picture in mind at all times, especially in college, because it's easy to get sidetracked with the fun shit you can do in college and not focus on why you're even there in the first place.
You need to like develop like your own toolkit, essentially. Like you need to learn how to like
time
think
management
for yourself as well. Like time management
is everything.
Yeah, you need to learn how to structure your life more or less.
Yeah,
and like that was the first thing that hit me right in the face when I left school. Was like, okay, your time is yours now, but you gotta put it together yourself.
What are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, and that's like, if anybody finds himself in that situation, the only thing you can do from there is like you need to build yourself into the person that can put that together and keep it together. So like that's what you should spend your time doing.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah. So, I heard you got a Tesla.
That's true. I've had it for over a year now.
How you like it so far,
dude?
That's such a weird segue.
Hey man,
so
I had to ask about it.
For those of you who don't know, I was considering one for a while, and then what convinced me to do it was when I talked to you about it, because I know you had one as well. I think you were probably the first one out of like our friends that got one. Yeah. Unless I'm wrong.
I've wanted one for a long time.
I think you were the first. I was like, I'll talk to Matt, because like you were literally the only person on earth I knew at the time that had one that I could just hit up. So that was kind of what confirmed it for me, and it's been the best car that I've ever driven. I refuse to drive anything else as like a daily driver. It's gotten to that point. So yeah. So it's safe to say I'm pretty happy with it.
You also have are you still doing the car channel?
Mm-hmm. That's momentarily on hold.
Okay.
Because of like this like situation and stuff. But like, no, I started a car review channel as well. Just another thing I'm going to try and do. So yeah.
Do you want that name out there on the podcast?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's Ch0pper.
Ch0pper.
I love that name so much.
Name. It's a phenomenal name. Why is it on hold right now?
Because like,
you want to see the boys? I don't know.
Oh, you mean like this weekend?
No. Well, like what happened was we had 3 cars that we were going to do. Like we have a dealership that allows us to use their vehicles. We've like set up a little deal. Mm-hmm. And we went to film at least one of those cars, and it hadn't got looked at for 3 weeks. The day we get there, someone wants to look at it. So we don't, like I showed up, we didn't get to use that day. Another car got sold later, and then my cameraman got COVID for a week. Or not for a week, but he had it for a day, and then he kicked it. But I was like, you should still stay home just for a bit, just to be safe. And we were supposed to do some filming during that as well. So it's been not good for that, but we're getting that back on track. But yeah, it's like,
I like that you're doing that though, because I think that's like so perfect for like you, because you always like so this is interesting. It's like you have this sort of influence with the Tesla on Ch0pper, and I feel like Ch0pper influenced me. And I feel like we should just talk about this. So
Tesla, if they don't know, you haven't really told them yet, have you?
I haven't said this on the podcast, but I just tweeted it today that I also just got a Tesla as well.
Tesla gang.
So all three of us have a Tesla. All 3 of us have a Model 3 as well.
Yep.
I feel like whatever happened with the influence chain happened because I feel like you influenced him. he influenced me. You influenced me too when I got here because I saw your car every damn day, and I'm like, this is freaking stupid. Like this car looks so great and so like easy to drive, and it's just like, wow, this is amazing. And I don't know. I thought it was really interesting that you're our first guest, really, and like the Tesla's been like a thing where like, am I gonna do it? Am I gonna do it? And now like when you show up, it just happens.
It's just there.
It's just there.
What made you decide to? Because when you got here, you already had a car, and you weren't
Yes.
driving much, right? Because you're still working from home.
Right.
You almost never drive, really, is from what I know.
I drive a lot more now.
But why? But why did you decide to get the Tesla?
Okay, so
Like why all of a sudden?
here's the thing. So I've always wanted to get. So I had a Jeep Renegade was my car previously, and the only way I was able to really get the Tesla is because the Jeep Renegade was in pretty damn good condition, and it was relatively like not super old. It was only a couple of years old. There's a lot of things of like that car was like a joint thing between me and my parents and that
Right.
kind of thing. But a lot of things happened with that, and I kept thinking like I really want to just like own my own car, like just really have my own car. And not only that, just eventually once COVID goes away, I'm gonna be driving to work, you know, like I'm gonna be actually having to commute every single day. Not only that, when I started dating him as well, there was a realization of, wow, like every single time I want to hang out, it's like a 20-minute drive on a freeway, right? It's
It's kind of LA.
She thanked
Yeah.
me last night for influencing you to get one.
wait, really? Yeah. That's really funny.
But why a Tesla though? Why not
Okay.
like a Jaguar or like a Jeep?
Because for me, I don't think I'm not like Ch0pper is like a big car guy.
yeah.
I would like Ch0pper, right? Like
Kinda.
Ch0pper, right? Like,
Well, but
you like looking at cars.
sort of, yeah. Like I'm not like a gearhead, but
Yeah.
like I enjoy cars.
Yeah. But it like for me, like I never like have this affinity with cars where I'm like, oh, that's a sick car. I really, really want that car. And Tesla's the only car that I've felt that way about in my life.
It changed you.
And it's just because I've always been like, I'm that kid who like wears an Apple Watch because I like to feel techie. Like
Yeah.
I love like the techie stuff.
The tech side of it, yeah.
And I love the idea of just being electric as well. And I love the idea of, damn it, like autopilot. Like eventually I feel like cars are going to get to that point more and more where I just feel safer in it, honestly. That was a big thing too, moving here. Like compared to driving in Alabama, oh my God. For anybody
different.
listening, like driving in Alabama is like what is there even roads? Like I don't know, dude. It's like
Where do you live,
on the
bro?
dirt
There's
path,
are there
brother.
there's
even
ro-
roads?
There's roads, but it's like there's the traffic. There's no traffic. Like you know what I mean. You don't. It's
Yeah.
nothing.
It's just like all little back road kind of thing.
right. Mostly, I'm kind of from more of like a little bit more of a populated area, but I'm not used to traffic out here at all. Not used to it at all. And I was actually like, I don't know what it was, but with my Jeep that I had, like I just hated driving it here. Like I just hated it. It like scared me.
Really?
Like it was, dude.
That's fair.
I'd have a nervousness every single time I get into
So
it.
you'd say just like the safety and autopilot being easy to use in traffic
Yes,
are probably the main
it's-
things.
The autopilot's great for like freeway and stuff because you can kind of go like boom boom and just flick it on and it just does it, and you can do lane changes and stuff, right?
Bing boom.
Bing boom.
Premium.
You got it right.
Nailed it. They have like people that don't know Tesla have no clue what you're talking about, but we get it.
It's the what do you call it? The
Push the stalk down twice
yeah.
and it
Yeah.
engages
That's
autopilot.
engage
where the,
autopilot.
that's
It
also
makes
where
it
like
work.
drive is, right? It's
It's where the shifters.
Yeah.
yeah. You don't actually have the what is it? A stick.
Yeah.
down below.
There's
Like,
no gearbox in the
It's
middle.
very
just
minimal.
on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
car
it's
is
all
very
on
minimal.
the wheel, basically. But anyways, I love the idea of you're driving it, and first of all, I always had this big thing where I never owned one of those things that like sticks in your car where you put your phone on the car. So like if you have to GPS somewhere, it'd always be that thing where I had to constantly look down for the GPS. Felt super unsafe to do that, especially here.
Yeah.
Having an actual giant screen, like a little iPad screen that is literally everything you need to know. It's right there, GPS straight to your house.
Right.
Like it's great. Like I feel so much safer. It actually warns me. We were driving over here just to the, to get here today. And I was barely going like fast at all. And I was like trying to come to a stop at a red light, and it like did an early warning.
They
like,
hit him with the collision warning
yeah,
thing.
it was like, and I was like, oh, the Tesla literally went like, like the Tesla was like freaking out, like I was about to hit something. And it was so early that like,
it gets your attention.
yeah, it does. And I was like, thank you, Tesla. I was really far away, but thank you for making sure. But it's those little things though, like even though that noise was really loud, it's just really like, I feel safe.
They're fun, safe, and they're practical.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the only thing that sucks is I don't currently have a charger at my apartment complex. They're building them.
This man almost ran out of charge. Last time we recorded the podcast, he leaves at like 1 a.m. He's like, I got 4 miles left, and the place is like 3.5 miles away. He's like, I might not make it. I don't know. I was like, bro, why did you leave it to this low? Like, that is one thing that is a scary thing.
I want to figure it out.
It's like a charge fear, whatever
Did
they
you
call
ever
it.
have? I've had one situation like JC's. Like I feel like every Tesla owner has it at least
Did
once.
you
have
guys
it
get the
once?
long range or no?
No, dude.
Oh, see that's it.
But regardless, like when you're figuring out the car, like when you're just new to it, because I had a situation where it was really cold back at home, and I had it was like
it
the
drops,
first it was the first week I had it or something. I got back from the gym with like 1 mile, and I was like, yeah, I can't do that. But
yeah,
that's literally what happened to me. I was driving with M, I think coming from the podcast or something. And I was planning to charge it like near her, but I didn't have like the right transfer cable or something, like the right compatibility thing. And so I was like, oh shoot, I got to go find like an actual supercharger. And the nearest one was like 10 minutes away. And I was like running out of miles. And M was just like, I think we can make it. And I was like, I don't know if we can make it. And we just did it. And I was like, just going like really slow, like to each, like, like really trying not to press like any buttons. We turned the air off. We turned
everything off.
Yeah. We made sure no music was playing. We're like, okay.
Just
no
rolling.
tunes.
No tunes
My
today,
man
babe.
rolled
Sorry.
to the charger.
And we got there. I think it was like 3 miles at the end. But
That's a close call.
and M was like, oh, I'm sure you're fine. I bet there's like 10 more miles on it. And I'm like,
Yeah, I don't think it works.
I don't think it works like
it
that.
is though.
It does work that way?
Yeah, I watch videos where people will drain it to 0, and they usually get like 10 more miles roughly
Oh,
off
all right,
of it.
that's good to know.
But
then you
it's
might have not been as bad.
It's not ideal. It's
I would
really
definitely not
healthy
do that.
for the
I
battery.
almost- it's probably bad for
wish
the
I
battery.
didn't know that information. Because
I'm never gonna let it go
you should,
there.
You should treat it like it's
when
a
I hit
realistic
50
like,
miles, I am like, yo.
Yeah.
Well, I also charge it here, which is like a huge
cannot
thing.
wait
You,
for
you
that.
can charge in your house, I'm
Yeah,
assuming, right?
I got one in my garage.
I am
Did you get
screwed.
like the Powerwall where it's faster charging, or just right in the
I
wall?
found I don't need it.
Yeah,
a 110
Same
will
here.
do
I
just
don't really
fine.
need it.
Dude, also the coolest thing, and I want to bring this up on the podcast especially, but because I did his referral thing, I got literally like 1,000 supercharger miles for free.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It's more than it sounds like. It's actually not as much as it sounds
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Because it's
You use it
basically
a
like,
lot.
it's like, I don't even know, like $60, $100, something like that. It's not as much as you think.
Yeah.
Because if you do like one full charger, that's maybe like
200?
230 for you guys,
Yeah.
probably 230 for me, like 315 ish.
Yeah. So I got like, it was
you
like
get
around like six chargers.
6
or
charges
something
with
like
it,
that.
but it's still, I mean, it's still good, and I got them too. So I still like when I went to Vegas, like I got it all for free, which was great.
Yeah.
I actually
that's so
tried to do
funny.
it with Ch0pper, but they don't let you.
They don't do it in Ohio.
In Ohio, only Ohio doesn't do it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's so shitty. Like I feel because I wanted to give him the miles
Yeah.
too, obviously. Oh well,
It's not Ohio compatible, but what can you do?
bummer.
Why is the car like why? It's so funny that Tesla operates in the same way of like a Fortnite creator code.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why is
kinda.
that the same system?
Well, 'cause they don't
you
advertise.
get a car and you get free miles.
Yeah, but that's like kind of one of their word of mouth
Yeah.
like incentives is because they don't advertise at all. It's just word of mouth essentially.
And it works.
Oh, it works. Well, the reason it works is because the product's so damn good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Like
It's
you,
good. Well,
once you are in one and drive one, it's just like you
Speaking
get
of
it,
product, did
You
any
get
of
it.
you guys get the Tesla tequila?
dude.
what is that?
I am pissed.
Me
What is
too.
that?
I am.
What is that?
I
I don't know
am
what that is.
pissed.
I am fuming.
All right, let's talk about this for a second. I had Elon's tweets on like he's the only person I have alerts on for my entire and out of any social media, just Elon. Because because the short shorts sold out in like 2 seconds. So I was like, all right, he's gonna tweet out when the tequila comes out. I missed it, dude.
Me too.
I was livid. I was like, I'm gonna buy as many of those as I can. And the design was sick.
Can y'all explain what this is?
So Tesla, his company does like random other sales. They sold short shorts as a joke.
Was it like Boring Company?
No, this one's actually Tesla.
Okay.
Boring Company does them too, but this was actually Tesla branded. They sold short shorts. This is a stock thing.
Like clothing.
Literal short shorts, like red Tesla branded short shorts as a joke to like.
Someone like tweeted him and he was like, okay.
Yeah, but the whole point was because everyone's always like, there's been a lot of people in the stock market that short Tesla. They basically bet against Tesla, right? It's called shorting the stock.
Okay.
Like they bet that it will go down. Like they don't believe that it will be something. So many people have done that in the past, like a ton, and it's always been a thing. So Elon's like, okay, we'll make short shorts as a joke, like an FU to all the people that shorted our stock because look how it's doing now. Those sold out immediately. Corinna Kampf she got a pair, bro. I saw her wearing them, motherfucker. Anyway, so then they're like, oh, we're gonna do Tesla tequila. And I was like, okay, I gotta be on this because like,
Oh my god! Like an actual like.
but they only do it once.
I would show you, but they made a bottle and it's like.
I'll put it up on screen.
Yeah, the viewers will be able to see it, but it's like an electric bolt bottle.
It's sick, dude.
I'll
Pull it
show
up,
you
pull it
photo,
up. So they didn't even show the like any branding before they sold it, but I knew it was gonna come out and I knew it was gonna be probably like a couple $100, like not cheap.
Yeah.
But once it's gone, it's gone. Like that's it. It's like a collector's item essentially.
Oh my
It's
god!
sick looking, dude.
so cool.
I am pissed I didn't get one because now you go on eBay and they're selling for like
They're like a
$1,000.
They're like a grand. Dude, that's like $7,000.
Just like ridiculous amount of money to get one of those now.
Yeah.
Livid. Well,
can
we
you do,
both
man?
didn't get one. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do? There's
That
gonna be
is
more.
nuts.
There'll be more stuff like that. It's like the Boring Company does like the flamethrower
Yeah,
and
the David Dobrik.
yeah. But there was a good amount of stock.
That's what
for
it's
that.
called. The David
David
Dobrik
Dobrik.
thrower.
Brick. Oh, that tequila thing would have been so cool.
He uses it more than anybody I've ever seen in my life, though.
Noah has one. I don't think he's ever used it.
No, actually, I won't.
Yeah,
Look at how. I mean, yeah. How often do you get to use a flamethrower though? Like,
that's true.
unless you're making
That's
content
true.
with it, like
But,
I feel
like-
like it's kind of like a.
Fair enough. Like I don't expect
It's
you
like
to
a
go to
prized
Jay's house and
possession.
have to greet us with a flamethrower or anything, but like, hey man.
Something I will say about the Tesla though, because we've talked a lot about finances and everything on this channel, and I just find it funny that I end up getting a Tesla,
Right.
You know, after we have all these conversations about be smart with your.
But it is.
But here's the thing. Here, I do
Yeah, I
want to
would
say
agree.
this. In relation to our house conversation,
Yeah.
personally, I started making the judgment call this year. I was very much making the judgment call of like the biggest deciding factor for me was, do I see myself getting a house actually within like the next couple of years? And honestly, the answer was no, just because of the nature of work and the nature of I think I'm going to be in LA and I'm probably going to be in apartments for quite a bit. The answer was just, I don't think it's going to happen for a bit. And also, I'm someone who just doesn't like, this year sucked.
Yeah.
It just sucked the life out of me in so many ways. And I was like, you know what?
You're gonna treat
I'm
yourself.
23 and I, moved out here. Like I did something really, really like, to me, it was really brave for myself. Like
Oh, it
I'm really
was.
proud that I did that. And I was just like, you know what? I think this thing could be like my, like a milestone that I remember, like I did this. I was able to do this following my, like the thing I put with the tweet today was like, don't let anyone tell you your passions don't mean anything. Like don't like follow your dream, follow your passions, because like that car to me is like living proof of it. It's like that, granted there was money from the Tesla that was because of the Jeep. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't just all content creation or anything like that. And it was a lot of money that was saved up for a very long time.
Twitch Prime hitting different.
Honestly, it wasn't as much prime as you think. But the thing is like I was able to do it just from literally just when you think about it, like it's something that like that I want to make like a big investment in something like that for like years. And I just thought it was the right time to do that, especially once things do open back up, whenever that is next year.
You'll be driving a lot.
I'm now more accustomed to it. Like it's actually kind of great in some ways. In some ways, I hate that I can't go any like to cool places that much, but I do like the element of, like while there's less people on the road, like I'm kind of learning my way like around the area, how to drive it better, and just how to like. I'm just enjoying the car a lot, and like you said, it's freaking amazing to drive. Like I'm really really happy with it. I cannot wait to show my dad that car.
Oh, you haven't shown him yet?
No, because he hasn't been here.
And he's gonna love it.
And he's gonna lose his mind. He wants to get like my dad like talks about. He's like, my dad loves Elon. He's like, I want to get the Cybertruck. I'm like, can you imagine my dad rolling around
Fire,
with that?
the Cybertruck would be gnarly.
That's like my goal in life. Like, can I just like
pinnacle?
Can I somehow get to the point where I can just give my dad that car, please? Like,
hey, maybe.
Can you imagine?
I will say this though. I feel like a lot of people have, and it's a cool thing for people that own Tesla. It's like got a prestige status to it almost a little bit. But the cars we have are actually not that expensive.
Oh, right. I do want to also mention that I couldn't have gotten any other Tesla other than the Model 3.
Yeah. Why? And I wanted the Model 3. I was like, this car is sick. And it's like,
I wanted the Model 3.
Like, I'm not breaking my back trying to buy it. Like it's a reasonably and when you factor in the savings on gas, I also got, when I bought it, there was like a huge tax incentive, which was, I mean, it was like $10,000 off right off the bat, which is incredible.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's huge.
It's like, it's not, it kind of sounds like we're like, oh, like we rewarded ourselves for, the hard work we put in, and we did. But it's also but it's a financially smart decision. Like it's going to be a long-term investment as opposed to a lot of cars are a debt, really. Yeah. But this thing's going to save you money over time. So I would say it's not a bad idea if you're thinking about buying a car to consider it being a Tesla if it makes sense.
Yeah. I agree. I do think that's important to throw out there. The Model 3 is actually pretty affordable.
Yeah.
Compared to all the other ones on there, I would say.
Oh, I mean, the X and the S are like, those are like $100,000 cars.
That's
that's the thing is like, because they came first, I think a lot of people that don't know a lot about Teslas still think like, oh, Teslas are super expensive. But the Model 3, the base one's like $30,000, $35,000.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And even the Y now is like it's like a SUV version of our car. $40,000. Like it's not cheap.
It's not cheap, but
it's incredibly reasonable.
It's reasonable. And there's a lot, and a lot of states are still taxing
for how sick
tax
that car is.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, we went to
what?
What are you talking about this?
What?
Dude, the thing I completely forgot about this utilization of it. But so we went to the grocery store last night, right?
Yeah.
And Chop's like, dude, do you ever use your front trunk? And I was like, oh shoot, I forgot there's the frunk. So for those of you who are listening on the podcast right now, because the Tesla doesn't have like a normal engine, right?
Yeah.
In the front, like when you open up the front, it's just a trunk.
Yeah. Just more space.
It's just more space.
So I was like, dude, let's just throw the bevs in there.
I kid you not. There was a case of White Claw in the front trunk. Oh my God, it's hard to say.
The frunk.
Just sitting there, I was like, wait, is this really like a thing? Like, and yeah, you press a button and it opens up.
Yeah.
And you can put it in
Pop the hood and put whatever you want in there.
Yeah, he said he's gotten looks before because
like one time it was like a month ago or something, but I put a pizza box in it and someone was driving like right by and they looked at me like they're like, I could see their reaction.
This guy's taking pizza out of his engine.
I was like, listen, bro, my car runs on this, man.
That car just stole that guy's pizza.
They're heating up my pizza, bro.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was a really fun moment last night.
4-cylinder pepperoni in there, dude.
That's so funny, dude.
Yeah. Well, we're all part of the Tesla gang now, so that's pretty cool.
I do for my small time with it, I do recommend it.
Yeah.
And 100%. You've had it for how long?
Over a year now, which is weird because I still feel like I just got it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I got it.
It's a fun car to drive.
So fun.
It just feels new always because it's like you can whip that shit around corners. Oh man, it's fun.
Did somebody add me on Twitter and they're like, JC got the moving to LA car. And I was like, yeah,
it is. That's true.
A lot of people
are popular out here now.
Yeah. You see them everywhere.
Because I made a note to him when, like, I think last time I was out here was for the like Ancient Evil event during Black Ops 4. And I remember just like observing there weren't that many about a year ago, but like, I mean, you would see them, but like they're significantly more now.
Oh yeah,
for
sure.
Those white lights.
It's so hitting the mainstream, and it's because here they have a lot more charging stations. It's funny that you couldn't find one because like this is probably in the entire U.S. This has got to be the place that's got the most.
Yeah.
This or San Fran, I would say, because that's where Tesla's based. So it's just a lot easier to own one here because you don't really have to think about charging. There's always somewhere really
There's
nearby.
always an option.
But elsewhere in the country, I know it's still like a kind of a point.
Dude,
of
if I ever like
emphasis.
wanted to take this car home, you would have to literally just charge it at that like the house, like in Alabama.
Well, that's the thing. You
There's
can
like
always,
no other spot.
you can, as long as you have an outlet.
Yeah.
But in LA, like a lot of the, like where you live in your apartment, you don't always
no
have
outlet.
access to an outlet.
there's
So
no
it's a little different. It's like a suburb area. Like if you live in a house, your garage has an outlet most likely. So it's easier to charge.
I do also, sorry, I guess we're just full on going into the Tesla stuff. I figured this would happen eventually.
It's exciting to talk about.
But the other thing that's really cool that people don't know about too much is like the Sentry mode on it. And I like that concept too. It's like you actually, if you put your car in Sentry mode, it will like record everything around it. And if anybody messes with your vehicle,
You'll know.
You'll know.
You will know.
Dude, there was one time where me and Em were in a parking lot and we were trying to go back. We're going back to the car. This is very recent. We were going back to the car and I like tried to open the door and I was like, oh wait, this is not my Tesla. This is somebody else's Tesla, right? And I looked and I saw like on the
button
dude, I saw on the iPad screen
You are
like
being recorded.
I saw it go. I saw it say Sentry mode activated, and it was like this orange eye like on the screen. I was like, bro, we're gonna get like beamed. Like someone's gonna like actually like shoot a laser at us or something. Like I was in the future or something. I'm like, we're just gonna get out of here. We're definitely like some guy definitely checked his phone later and was like,
This motherfucker.
like somebody's trying
You try to steal my car.
It'd be even worse if it didn't have audio, because like
like sorry.
it's just like a failed break-in attempt.
But dude, it's wild. Like it's like a USB. It plugs into your car and it records.
It records everything. There are so many features in that car, so many small things that you just when you get in and drive one, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
This is just leagues above other cars. Like it's just so far ahead as far as the technology and things that it has.
I'm definitely on your side now. It's happened.
I
understand.
I feel like I've tried to.
I've seen it.
You've seen the light.
I try to suppress my love for Elon and Tesla, but it comes through online sometimes. But there's a reason for it. Like
Yeah,
I
agree.
love this.
No matter
this
what you think
product.
about, no matter what you think about the guy,
I understand like the brand.
Yeah,
like the
just
product itself.
Yeah.
it is truly
it's good.
well above other brands. I would say at the moment.
Yeah.
So if you want to get a Tesla, maybe we'll drop our
Use my
referral
creator code.
Use my creator code, bro. If any of you guys are in the market for a car,
Please do not get a car from spur of the moment, though. Actually,
definitely think about it.
do not do that.
Yeah.
I really want to make that clear. This is not something that just happened.
I don't think people are going to just go out and be like, yo, I'm just going to buy a car right now. It's much more of a decision than that.
Yeah.
But
Hey, man,
Tesla, bro.
you can stream from it.
I did a stream in my car one time because my
Really?
AC broke in my house and it was unbelievably hot. So I was like, I did, right? I took my phone and I put it on like the center like console thing, like in between the seats. And then I hooked up my controller to the screen or to the like device and I played video games on that screen and talked to chat.
And it worked?
Yeah.
Wow. That is, wow.
The Tesla can actually get you Prime, dude.
Yeah.
Dang, bro. That's awesome.
Like, when you go buy the car, it's like in the written paperwork, it's like you can stream on this.
You will obtain Twitch Prime.
Saying Twitch Prime. That's so.
But yeah, like I was like, I got nowhere else to stream them. But I was like, my car is AC and games. So I'm like, makes sense.
There you go.
Romantic mode.
You use that?
Have you used that?
Yeah, I have.
So there's a romantic mode in the car. Have you used that? You like press it and like a fire, and all of a sudden
It blows hot air out the vents. You know, dude.
And it plays like
it plays just any.
Barry Manilow or something like that.
It's cool.
Dang, dude. We must look like a bunch of clowns. Like, oh, look at our Teslas.
Hey, look, if there's any time for me to like get excited,
yeah.
it's probably this week, right?
Embrace it.
Okay, so I feel like we talked a lot. I do have a couple of Q&A questions from for Ch0pper from the community.
Yeah.
We did a quick shout out on Twitter because Ch0pper is going to be on the podcast, and I was like, hell yeah.
Hell
we need to,
yeah.
we need to have some people actually ask, because honestly, if there's anything about the Irrelevant podcast, it's that we've always tried to include Q&A stuff for every main episode.
I think that's good
right?
too.
Because honestly, again, to everybody listening, everybody watching, we appreciate your guys' support so much. Like this podcast has been just like a passion project for me and Matt, and the fact that you guys have been supporting it every week is actually been nuts. Like one of our episodes, I think it was 2 episodes ago, like had over 10K on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And we barely shout out the podcast on our own channels, and it's the fact that it had 10K is nuts. Like that's really crazy, guys. So thank y'all for that. So we want to feature you guys because you guys are the best. We have a question from someone named Ch0pper.
Shout out.
Oh God, here we go.
Ch0pper
Ch0pper
says, when am I being let out of the Tesla? First of all, don't know what that means. Also saying,
What else have you been doing in that Tesla, bro?
Also, it's been 4 months. Also, for both of you, what is your favorite KDA song?
I assume means both of us, you and I, because I don't know if Matt
Do you like KDA?
Not as much as you guys. I don't know. I don't even know the songs.
I don't even know if Chop likes it that much. It's just
I'm a
probably
fan.
me.
You showed me
I'm a
his
fan.
music videos.
I'm a fan, JC.
Crazy.
Did you hear
I'm
the
a
new
low-key
ones?
fan. Yeah.
Dude, which one's the best out of the new ones? Or do you still like KDA?
The most recent 30 they dropped were not that good. They were okay.
Bro, I love them. I'm gonna fight 'em.
More is still by far the best song.
More
Just
was
throwing
good.
that out there.
More was good.
That's by far the best.
More was really good. Out of all of them, I like the Drum Go Dumb one.
That's
Drum
one of my least
Go
favorite, pal.
Dumb.
I'm gonna
Dude,
be honest.
no, I love that one because it's got drum. It's like the drum and bass at the end too is really good. Oh my god. So all right, Drum Go Dumb. More. There's the 2 right there. Me and Chop. Matt doesn't listen to it too much because he's Matt.
What does that
You
mean?
Give him another run through and just see how you feel.
Well, I gotta listen to him.
Right now?
You showed me the
Podcast.
you showed me the music videos, which are crazy, by the way.
Dude.
They're nuts.
The new ones look significantly less expensive than the.
Oh really? They're cutting the budget.
They're concept music videos, like the newer songs, but the one, like the main one they did this year, More, that song, oh my
That one
Lord.
probably cost more money than any of us can conceive.
Yeah.
To be honest.
That was probably a couple of Teslas, to be honest.
How many Teslas is this? That's what I want to know.
Fat amount of money.
Oh my god, that's really funny. Okay, let's move on to Satchel. Satchel has a question as well, saying, "We got to talk about the Tesla. After all the memes, was it worth it?" I feel like this is mainly for you, but I guess it could be also for me too, and just all of us.
I mean, you should probably field that question first, and then I'll.
Well,
take
there
it.
was a lot of memes on my stuff. People kept trying to tell me to do it because they knew I wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
And they're like, JC, just do it. When is it happening? And I'm like, bro, chill. Like, I'm not ready yet. Like that kind
How
of
long
thing.
have you had yours, Matt?
It's just over 2 years.
Okay, so like, how is?
Yeah, like
Your overall just-
let's switch this question to Matt. Like, is it worth it after 2 years?
I have
mean,
had zero problems, zero maintenance done on it. I have literally had to do nothing to maintain it. It is the best car I've ever owned. Yes, I mean it's like I feel like we already answered this just by talking about it so highly. Like, yes, it is
I would
quite
say
worth
same.
it.
Yeah,
I've had it for less time than you, but I would say same. And
I've had for the
you're probably
least.
gonna have a similar experience.
But I think it is worth it. Absolutely. What challenges, if any, did Ch0pper face when starting YouTube? Was there anyone in his life that was opposed to it, didn't support him? We kind of had some bits of that with like the college stuff, right? Would be interesting to hear. A lot of content creators have had to deal with people not believing in them, like that damn counselor, which we talked about.
Oh man.
But like, what challenges did you face when you were starting out, basically? And did you have people that were? I'd assume so, right?
My family didn't really approve of it, or at least
I feel
like,
that.
especially when I started. Like, my mom and dad were just like probably shouldn't, or just like they
Yeah.
How old were you when you started?
like 15.
15.
Just like started
And
messing
they just
around.
thought you were like, wasting your time with it?
Yeah. And then like it started to turn around when I left school, and I had a better conversation with my mom about it, where she was kind of like more open to it. But like my dad was never on board, and he never got to see it because like he's not here now, but he never got to see like where it went.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'll never know that, but like, yeah, it was difficult in the beginning. for sure. But
Yeah.
like,
Because they just didn't approve of what you were doing, kind of thing.
Yeah, it was
and
tough.
they wanted you to go to college and get a degree and that kind of thing. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Was there another part of that question, or was just
No, that was the main question. It just said would be interesting to hear. A lot of content creators have had to deal with people not
it
believing
was
in them.
it was most people in
Yeah.
the beginning.
So like, yeah. So you, about your friends, what did they think?
Like most of them kind of treated it as a joke as well. There was like two that were kind of about it and that like were help guiding me along the way a little bit.
Why is there always like the one or two like just the brothers, dude? Like the absolute like legends. Like that's like
and
DC
those
for me,
those
right?
are yeah, and those are still
Yeah.
the friends that I keep around to this day.
Yeah.
But
Because they
like
believed in it earlier on.
yeah, so like it was, and that was also kind of like more confirmation that I actually should try and go through with it. As much as they told me not to, it almost made me want to do it more. So yeah, it was like, but it was difficult. Just have everyone like not.
So what kind of things would they say to you? The people that weren't about it, were they like ripping on you for it, like kind of making a joke out of it, or just like telling you that it wasn't going to go anywhere?
It was usually more of a joke to my friends, and then like when it was coming from my family, I'm sure it was like well spirited. Like they didn't want to not see me do well, but like they didn't believe in that particular path. Especially like leaving school, like I got a lot of. They almost kind of like alienated me a little bit.
Yeah.
My family did, and they're
Probably questioned your decision.
yeah. So that was
I think
rough.
probably, and you can tell me if this is true to your case or not, but I think a lot of the issues that parents still right now for people that are trying to become full-time creators or streamers or whatever it might be, is that the older like parents, grandparents just don't understand it. And the lack of understanding is a huge part of why they're like, this isn't a career. Like this is, for them, it was never a career.
Yeah.
And they probably still don't, a lot of people still don't understand you can make serious money. This is a very serious career path at this point. If you do it well, and if you're like really passionate about it and really give it a go, you can make a living off of this. And if it's what you love to do, like most parents would support what you love to do, but they just don't understand it. And they don't understand how it goes from playing video games or streaming or watching videos or making stupid little videos to this is my full-time job. I'm paying rent. I bought a house. I bought a car. I'm providing for whatever family I might want to have. So getting them to understand that, I think, is like probably what a lot of people that are watching might struggle with. And that's kind of, it wasn't that bad for me. I did get laughed at when I started doing it, and I got my first paycheck. And I've told this already. Like I got, it was like 97 cents or whatever.
Mine was 13. Beat that.
13 cents?
Yeah.
Dude, and I got that from Google, and I was like, let's go.
Yeah,
Google
yeah,
paid
same.
me $1. Let's go. And they were just dogging on me all week for it. But then look where we're at now, right? It's like, you would have never got to that point if you didn't carry through. So props to you for sticking through that. Are you friends with those people who didn't believe in you back then?
No.
They're like afterthoughts.
Those are most of the people, like, for those of you that have, like, listeners that have left high school, you probably know there's people that you associate with that are your acquaintances, but they're not really your friends.
Right.
Some of them are your friends, but you just naturally grow apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Most of those people that like didn't
see the vision the way you did.
Sounds weird, like believe in it or whatever, but like didn't or were actively trying to tear it down. I don't keep those people around.
Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, I feel like your situation was similar as far as college. You kind of said
Dude,
that already.
I feel like I've told you like one of the stories I have in college, and it's weird. You never forget it either. Like you never forget like when people say that stuff to you. Like again, we joke around about the counselor thing. I said that with my Tesla post today, right? Like I never forget that a counselor literally told me when I was a kid that you guys weren't real. Granted, I didn't know you guys. Yeah, it was at the time. It was other friends that I had too, but it was like, yeah, those aren't real people that you're playing with and talking to, and you're spending your time not in a way that's healthy for you or any sort of thing like that. And it was just like, no, like you don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like, you really don't understand it. I remember in college as well, I had I remember there was one time in my life where literally I was trying to record a video, I think, or a stream or something. I think it was a video, and like DC and a couple people were like wanting to go do something that night or something. And there was another person at our apartment. I don't want to say who it was. But I remember like walking out my room for a bit, and because they were like kind of like wondering what I was doing. Like, hey, are you coming? Are you coming? Are you coming? And I remember like literally this person wasn't like a roommate. It was just someone who was there just that day. And they were like, like, you coming? I'm like, no, I gotta record this. Like, I gotta record something, which I did a lot in college. And college for me was like, nowadays I'm more like streaming. I'm not like recording videos as much, but in college it was like, no, like I was spending like a lot of time like editing and recording stuff and getting it, like trying to get it perfect, you know? And I remember this person being like, I walked in my room and they're like, Jordan, do you have friends? And I'll never forget this person saying that to me. And still to this day, I think about that every single time I hear their name and call it like, I don't know, me holding a grudge or something. Not really holding a grudge. Just
Motivation.
It's just, yeah, I remember that and I feel motivated by that all the time of like, oh my God, like this person really like thought. Like, and what's so weird is like, I was probably recording a video with Lex or somebody. Like I was probably actually hanging out with my friends that just didn't understand it, right?
Yeah.
And I remember that, and I'm just like, bro. And it's the same thing. Like, do I hang out with that person in any way, shape, or form now? No. Do I regret it? No.
But you carry it and use it to your, to in a positive way to motivate yourself and like, proving them wrong.
I try to make it positive. There's a little bit of that, like, hell yeah.
Part of you's gonna be a little like resentful about
that. I think it's hard not to be a little resentful towards, especially for me, like with the counselor stuff, like when I was a kid, because I just remember that and I'm like, bro, what did he tell other kids, right? Like, what did he tell other kids that were like maybe going through something similar? So that, like, to me, I'm like there's a little bit of spitefulness to it, but I think for the most part, though, I try really hard to just be like, okay, let's let them, like, I'm not sending an email to this guy like later on, like, dude, you were so wrong in the past. Like, no, I just think it's important.
But you know.
Yeah.
And you take that with you and you use it as motivation and.
Yeah. But I do agree with him. I do agree with him of like, you just don't forget those moments. I don't know how to describe that. I think it's very obvious that I don't forget those moments because we talked about it a bunch on this podcast.
I think there's a reason for that too. I think there's a reason you don't forget them. It's because those are like actually markers as if what you're doing is important.
Yeah. It
reminds you that when you thought you had something going, regardless of what other people said, you were right. So don't ever second guess that again, essentially. Yeah. Like my story for that is when I wanted to buy the PVR so I could record the video game stuff. Mm-hmm. It's $200. I was in high school, didn't have $200, found a way to get the money. My dad was like, this is the stupidest decision you're going to make. Like, this is a terrible purchase. And if I didn't do that, I would not be sitting here today, most likely. Yeah. So those are the moments you carry with you and
you remember it. And you're like,
next time that happens, because it's going to happen again, someone else will doubt you. Someone else will question you. Someone else will make you think twice about what you're doing. You know that if you feel strongly about it, you're probably right. So stick with it.
It's kind of been the theme of today. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. It's like, you remember those moments, not like 100% out of like spite and like, oh, like screw that person for saying that. But it's more just like, if I hear that again, I know that person was wrong before. Like
it'll be easier to make the decision this time because I was right once already.
Because it's so easy to let doubt come in. We talked about doubt before. Dude. It's so easy to doubt yourself.
The biggest enemy is yourself.
Dude, every time. And then when you have other people that doubt, oh my God, it's the worst feeling.
I mean, when you have like a hint of hesitation and other people qualify that hesitation, it's very hard to overcome that.
Yeah. That's why it hits so deep, like when it happens and you're like, frick me, that was mean. Why did you say that to me? But yeah, that's we got really deep on that one, but we have a couple more here to round out the podcast. This is a more lighthearted one. I kind of like a more lighthearted one here. What games do you enjoy playing other than zombies? It actually says other than zombies. Prisoner asked this question, but like, what are some things you play? Because I think a lot of people know you from, and maybe we should probably say this at the beginning, but Ch0pper has been mainly known in like the zombies community, right? Like similar to like
PUBG too, right?
PUBG,
for a while, yeah.
Is it basically been PUBG and zombies, and then has there been any other thing?
Well, that's what's interesting is like,
or do you play things like on the side, like?
No, I play other games off camera because like through and through, like I love video games still. And so like, and I also think that's important if you're going to be like a content creator specifically doing video games, you need to have games that almost like don't,
like your off time game.
you need to have games that remind you that you still like games.
Dude, I know exactly what you mean. Oh,
And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. So like,
oh my God.
I think that's important too. But yeah, like as far as like channel stuff is concerned, I love the games that I'm playing. Like I wouldn't play a game if I didn't like it, like for my content. But like, so my mentality going forward is just like I'm gonna do the games that I'm enjoying and that I think can do reasonably well. And like
On YouTube,
I think it's like also to sustain long term, you have to like every once in a while, you have to kind of like reevaluate yourself. You have to swallow your pride a little bit and be like, this thing I'm doing right now is no longer working. There's something else out there. I got to move on and figure it out. And like, and that's kind of like reinforcing just how I am in life right now, where it's like, I'm going to be in a perpetual state of just figuring it out. So like, as far as content, that's where that falls right now. Zombies, I'm liking it and it's going pretty well. So like, can't complain.
You had a really good month, right?
My best month ever on YouTube has been this month.
It's you put out some banger video ideas,
Dude, oh my God. Yeah, I'm glad we brought it up because you were telling me yesterday and like we were asking you. He didn't just come up to me and go, man, I had the best month ever. Like, no, it was like I asked him like, how's it been going? And he was just like, dude, actually it was like one of the best months ever.
By far, I don't know how, but it's like
dude, some of the video ideas you had. It's the reason I'm keen on what you've been doing. I know is because I worked with Milo for the Cold War launch. I was helping him out, and 2 or 3 of the video ideas that you put out were ones that I said we should do.
Oh, really?
And you beat us to it like by days, and I was like, damn, bro, like that's gonna bang, and it did. So I'm proud of you, man. Good shit.
Yeah, thanks,
You've
dude.
been crushing it. But I have a question, kind of go along with the gaming thing. Do you see video game content creation as your long term?
This is also another question. Let's just throw this in here right here. But J-Rock was also asking the same thing. Has Chop thought about what he will do after streaming/content creating? J-Rock says, I find it will be tough for anyone to make a lifelong career out of being on YouTube and Twitch.
I think for sure.
Yeah.
I think the answer to that is like, regardless of what happens with like the YouTube and Twitch landscape, I think I'm always going to love video games, but does that necessarily always mean I'm going to be doing gaming as content? I don't think so. I don't think those are necessarily correlated. But that's what's tough to answer because like I'm 22 and it's like I'm at a point where probably the next couple of years I can do gaming and enjoy it and it'll, be viable and everything. But it's like, I have no idea what's going to happen in the next 5 years. Like, I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
Ideally, and I've been thinking about this too, like not until I'm much, much older, but I think I want to write a book eventually.
Oh, okay.
But that's like extremely long term.
About what? Like fiction or like
no,
autobiography type thing?
No, I almost want to write like more like philosophy based kind of book.
About what kind of things?
That's what I'm figuring out. That's kind of that's why I'm waiting till I'm much older. But like I'm doing a bunch of things right now that will not only potentially give me avenues for different kinds of content. Like I bought a piano not long ago because I'm going to try and teach myself piano.
Dude, I've
started jujitsu with a friend.
Okay.
So like just stuff like that where I'm going to
take us out.
Just like,
dude, see, this is a great thing you bring. I'm glad you brought this up because one of the things I thought was like a really great point that I saw on Twitter. Pat tweeted this out. He said when COVID hit, you got all this time right now because there's not a lot else to do. He was going to pick up a new trait and he learned guitar and singing and that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And now you're saying you're going to learn piano and you picked up jujitsu. I think that's like such a great idea because there's so much time now that you didn't have before because you can't really go out. You can't go to the movies. You can't hang out with friends. So you might as well learn and improve yourself.
Right.
So that's phenomenal, man.
So yeah, that I guess that's the thing is I don't know. Like I think video games will always be a part of my life, but like
so you think content creation will be the long term, but it might not be video game content creation.
Yeah, like and that's the thing is like I always feel like I always feel like I'm in place to create something or like that is where I flourish most.
Creative
endeavors of some sort.
Field, yeah.
So like whatever that ends up being in the future, I have no idea. But I'm trying to use my time as productively as possible to expand all these different avenues that like if I happen to take one of those at some point down the road that I could already kind of have a head start, you know?
Gotcha.
I feel you on that, man. That's the same way I'm working right now,
Yeah.
pretty much. It's like we're doing a couple of different things. They're not very much related at all in some ways, but
You throw a few things out there,
we're
man,
gonna
you see
find.
what
You got to
sticks.
try things to
Yeah.
figure out things, you know.
Mhm.
So that's awesome.
Dang. So I do want to take. I want to go back to that one question before about different games. My guess is the one game that you play outside of zombies is Smash Bros. That's my guess. Is that correct? Of like, what is the game like? Can you name like the game that's like you play the most outside of zombies right now?
It's probably gonna be Smash
Yeah,
at this
Hell
right
yeah.
now. Yeah.
dude.
There's probably a few, but like that's probably at least a top 3.
Yeah.
You guys are just gearing up for the next Texas trip.
No, the thing is, I'm not a Smash Bros guy,
Me neither. I got my shit rocked when we played.
bro. Literally, first thing he said when he came over last night, he's like, "Hey man, like I brought my Switch. I have Smash." I'm like, dude, we're not doing this, bro. Like every
He
every
wanted to
single
come
time.
and win immediately.
Apparently, when you like explain the Austin thing where you with you and Noah.
Oh, dude, like, because the only other trip I've taken technically this year was when I went back to Austin for New Year's with Noah, and like,
Okay.
so I was there on like January like 1st and 2nd, and like any of the time where we weren't like doing something else or like eating or like going out and doing whatever, me and Noah were just playing Smash.
Just that music going on in the background. I can
Dude,
just imagine it. They love it.
I know he plays it a lot. He was talking himself up on Twitter about it a little bit.
He's like, yeah,
I could be anyone. Like, I was like, all right, you probably can, honestly.
you play Link, right?
No, Joker.
Ooh,
Oh, you switched. Weren't you young Link though for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
okay, that'll be good to see. So Smash,
What was your main?
dude, I
Bowser.
don't have a man. He
played
knows
Bowser
I
a
played
lot.
Bowser. I literally needed that drop kick, or I lost every game. Like I just needed a Hail Mary to connect, and that was it.
What did I did? Was it Corrin? Corrin. Yeah, I was at Corrin.
Corin. Yeah, no, I was
Couldn't be me.
Or
Bad,
Lucina.
it's bad.
Couldn't be me.
So what game?
Noah
what,
plays
so you're
Lucina.
playing Smash.
No one does.
No, it does. He
no,
plays
it does.
Lucina.
Yeah. So Smash is your game, huh?
It's definitely one of them, or it's definitely one of those games where it's like, I play this because I like it, and it reminds me that I like games.
Yeah.
Is there any single player games you play?
I played Breath of the Wild on the plane here.
Have you beat it?
Not yet.
Oh, great. Did you just start it this year?
Uh-huh.
Dude, you're gonna love it. That game is awesome.
I'm already really liking it. Yeah, it's great.
It's so easy just to play that game for like hours, and you're like, wait, I was just going over there to the other mountain, and it's been like 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm just
It's that kind of game.
yeah. Matt doesn't play a lot of single player games. I don't think. I feel
No,
like we talked about
In
this.
fact, I haven't played a lot of games generally. To me, dude,
My man's like, I don't play anything.
it's you said to remind you that you love
I
games.
know what you mean.
That's such a. I feel like a lot of people listening might not understand what you mean by that, but we get it
You
very
guys get
much
it.
so. When you play a game and it becomes your job to make videos on the game, it becomes a grind where it's like you're not enjoying the game as much anymore because you're like using it.
It's a catalyst for doing work.
Yeah, they become
Essentially.
like you're like, oh, I get to play video games as my job. It sounds great until you have to do it every single day to the point where it's like you kind of lose the interest in the game a little bit because you get burnt out on it more or less.
Yeah.
We sound like such privileged, like
I know it
a-holes.
sounds bad.
But
I
it's
know
like-
it does, but it is very much a thing.
It's
It
very
is a
much
thing.
real.
It is a
And I don't want to sugarcoat it for you if you're going to get into the scene like it. And it's the worst part of it is that if you want to play other games like Smash, if you post a video on that, it won't do well.
Right.
I'm not going to even say, oh, it might not. It won't do well.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
going
I
to.
don't
I'm not
even
going to.
bother.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
bullshit with you. It won't do well. And I
Yeah.
know that. Like I posted a video on my channel the other day that had nothing to do with gaming. Absolute flop. Totally.
It happens,
tanked.
man.
And it's like it just pierces your heart. It's like, dang, bro. Like I'm stuck.
You can
in
do this for
box.
years, and it still hurts that much.
I'm
when-
stuck in a box. So I just want to make a disclaimer that is part of this, and it sounds privileged, but it is a real thing.
Well, variety streaming, right? So like I play all these types of games on Twitch, and sometimes it hits me where I'm like, okay, I've been playing like every like major new release of like a big story game. It's kind of been my thing is like just doing story games and stuff. Like Cyberpunk's coming out next week. I'm sure we're gonna talk about it at some point. I've debated if I want to stream that or not, because that game is going to be hopefully glorious to play, but it's also like hours and hours and hours and hours. And I feel like some of the magic of playing that game is just getting really immersed and not having
to entertain,
and interact. And as much as I love doing that as a streamer, like, right, that's like, I love it. There is something to be said of like the fact that you're multitasking and you can't fully just turn your brain off. Not turn your brain off, but you can't fully put your brain all in.
You can't engage with it as much as you would otherwise.
And like Cyberpunk is going to be a game like that. You know it is, right? It's made by people made The Witcher. Like it's going to be,
and it's been delayed a bunch.
Yeah.
So you know they care about how it comes out.
Yeah, and it's a thing. It's a thing that I think about all the time, and it's hard for me sometimes because especially being a variety streamer, there's not a lot of, because variety streaming can be literally anything. Sometimes I'm like, okay, well, what's the thing that I don't do? You know?
Well, yeah, that's the thing is like, I wanted to bring this up as well, because I want to hear your perspective. This is like the first time I've actually talked to you, not only this year, like in person, but like because I'm curious your perspective on this too.
Yeah.
Like, it's always been my like opinion that there's like generally two kinds of streamers. There's like specialized streamers and then variety streamers.
Yeah.
And I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. Like, I think that like, you might disagree, but I don't think being a variety streamer is necessarily the goal, because like there is actually like, there's a ton of utility in specializing in one thing and being really, really good at that one thing. Like there's a lot of utility in that. You know, you can go unreal places doing that, but like the conundrum there is that you're in a box at some point. The thing with variety streaming is that you can do anything, but like, what exactly are you as well, right? You can't specialize in anything.
And your job
so
becomes all games, and it's like, wait, where's the line, right?
Right. So
you got
it's
to
like,
choose which one you want to play for passion and which one you want to play for stream. Not that it's not passionate, but it's a very different experience.
Yeah, I would say for me, this, like, were you asking me about that? Like,
well, yeah, like I guess my question is, and I think it's honestly, I think it's a lot just like, I really think it's like based on individual people's like personalities that will like more or less determine that. But like, has it always been just like a goal to be like a variety guy, or like, do you wish you had some utility in like being specialized in one thing?
For me, it's been a goal. There's definitely like that thing of like, where's the line and like, what do I not play? Like just to play for myself, right? And not stream. But for me, it's been a goal just because I love, I think I got really burnt out on doing the specialized thing for a long time.
Sure.
And also another thing that I realized over the years is I missed out a lot on a lot of games that I just never played. Like, you know, it took me a long time to play The Last of Us. I played it, and I didn't play it at launch, but I played it when it got remastered. I was there for Last of Us 2 at launch and all that kind of stuff, but it took me a long time to play God of War. That game is like a masterpiece in so many ways. And I feel like I missed out on a lot of it because I was so like just always being specialized into doing like one thing, right? Mm-hmm. So I think for me, and that's just me personally, like it doesn't, like some people might be like, okay, it doesn't bother me, right? But for me, I'm the thing that I loved about the thing that I love the most about games is story. That's just always been my thing. Is I love storytelling so much. I think if I could like erase time or like change what I'm doing maybe, like, and be like, okay, what other field potentially would I go in? I think it would be like TV writing.
It's interesting.
Like,
Because you care about story a lot.
yeah, it would be like
I could see
actually
that.
like writing like something for a TV show, like creating characters, like that kind of stuff. And that's what I love about games. And I feel like the things that really get me like going, like, and get me like, okay, like I love talking about this. Like, you know, I swear to God, like, again, and it's happening again, every podcast, I think I mentioned Lost like every single time.
Yeah.
Because I love it so much. And it's like,
You're a sucker for story.
I know exactly. But like, that's what I'm saying is like, think of how many games out there that I didn't play because I was very specialized at the time and I just didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I missed out on a lot of really awesome stories that I really personally, like, I'm so glad I'm getting to experience more now. My off stream game this year was Hades though.
Yeah.
That game is freaking phenomenal. That game is like going to win like Game of the Year awards. I don't know if it'll win Game of the Year, but it's nominated for Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and it came out of nowhere. Like it's just fun, man. It's a great game. I don't know, dude. If do you have a Switch?
No.
Oh my God.
I know that you guys are much more into just games in general than I am. And I love seeing your passion for it.
Yeah. It was like, because if like you aren't as invested in games as we are, like, is there anything else that like you sort of spend that time like doing instead of gaming?
This is so funny. But before you answer that, the last question I had for Ch0pper on the list is, what is the one thing you want to know about the other members on the podcast? And Ch0pper has already been doing it.
We're just ahead of the pack on that. We just know what we got going on, I guess.
So Nargio, thank you for that recommendation, but Ch0pper's already going for it.
Okay, so is it like for work or for personal or either?
Or just like the games that you play now are like mostly like what you stream or like do videos on and everything. But like what else like do you enjoy doing outside of like gaming? I feel like
the weird thing is that the YouTube thing worked out because of the gaming thing, and I liked gaming, and I always have, but that's never been like my favorite thing by any stretch. It was like one of the things I like to do. I would say sports is number one, hands down, and that's one thing that I've noticed that I really can't talk to any of the other guys about because no one really cares. Joey does a little bit.
Joey Conway and the Yanks.
But he likes baseball. Baseball is my least favorite sport.
That's my favorite.
It makes sense to me. I don't know. I'm a huge football fan, but I also like love to play the sports too. Like we were before COVID, we were playing flag football 3 times a week, soccer twice a week. Like every day of the week, we were doing something, and I just love that. Like I love the competitive nature, and that's kind of also what I like in games. I love the competition aspect. Less like I don't really play single player. To me, I'd rather watch a movie or watch a show.
I'm low on single play. I play them sometimes, but I'm more on like I'd
rather just watch than play a game like that. But the competitive nature of gaming has always been kind of like the crossover between that and sports. But it's just a weird thing to me because I've always been like I got into the scene. The reason I know you guys is because of the game.
Yeah.
But the worst part is that, like that's never been my favorite thing. Like if I had to choose, if I could do any, and I'm doing it now. That's why I'm like so stoked. Because I'm doing the stuff I actually want to do now. I'm not doing gaming anymore. I stream and I like doing that, but for the main stuff I'm doing, it's not gaming anymore. We have a show talking about football actually that we've been doing.
You have like a lot of the projects you're doing right now.
We got a lot of. I'm not even sure. I haven't said this to anyone yet. Do you guys know who Terrell Owens is?
Yeah.
Do you know? Probably not. He's a Hall of Fame. He's probably like this.
Yeah.
Top 3 wide receivers of all time behind Jerry Rice and maybe Randy Moss.
Yeah.
We're running his YouTube channel.
Really?
Yeah. Like I posted a video for him this morning.
Wow.
Like I'm running all of his, like it's sick. I love it. It's so dope. I'm hoping we get to shoot with him over Christmas break. He's down in Florida.
I definitely did not know that.
Yeah. Like this is the stuff because I stopped focusing on what? Relevant. Because I stopped focusing on what was working and started focusing on what I actually want to do long term.
Then it starts working.
The doors are starting to open finally, and it's like so exciting.
When you stop worrying about what's working and you just worry about what you love, and then it just starts working naturally.
Right? Can you imagine? No, but I don't want to. It did take.
Yeah.
It did take like 2 years, I would say, to really kind of come back to where like this just happened very recently.
Well, I'm excited for you just because I love seeing like, I especially love seeing like the posts from you and Mike, like just about like,
like the
playback,
video.
right? Team playback and seeing like all the things you guys keep. I mean, y'all did a music video I saw recently.
Yeah. That was mostly him. He's unbelievably talented.
Dude, Mike's crazy.
He's awesome. He's great. He's crushing it in his own way.
But I just love seeing you guys grow that. Like it's. Just
I
really
love it
cool.
too. Like I've always the back of my head, the 5-year version for me. We
talked about this before, and
has always been like I want to start this company that does media, and we do traditional video production like music videos and stuff like that, and we're recording with these athletes. But I've always wanted to stay in the YouTube scene, just not necessarily in gaming. and we're doing
That's
that
fair.
too. Like there's 5 channels now that I'm work on every single day. And I cannot wait to see where they go next year. Like it's all, the foundation has
awesome.
been set. It's happening. I just got to go and do it now. And I'm like, it's great. So yeah, I would
That's
say
sick, man.
to answer you, sports, I still love YouTube. I love, video content creation, just not necessarily like only video games.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully
That's
answers the
absolutely
question.
fair. Yeah.
That's
Like
awesome.
this podcast, man. I'm amped on it. I'm amped on this shit, dude. Like I fucking love it. I love this.
We got
like,
it.
I wanted
Got
to
it
talk
today.
about this, and I haven't had a way to do it because it just doesn't fit on like. There's nowhere I could put it. Like my main channel, like this. I don't know. Like this doesn't. It's not the right format. Like people aren't expecting this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we had to start something fresh, and like this is always what I wanted to do, to be able to talk about these other things that I'm doing and that I care about.
I like how we were talking before this episode and we're like, okay, what is the episode going to be about topic wise? This is exactly how it should have been.
Yes.
Just there's some Q&A stuff at the end from you guys listening and watching, but for the most part, we literally did not have a format for today's episode. We knew we were just going to sit down and whatever the conversation is on this one is how
We
it's
just
going to
take
be.
it. Just roll with it.
Meant to be, dude.
Dude, it's
meant to
fun.
be.
That's why I like doing this too, because it's just kind of like, I think at the beginning it's a little like, oh, okay, we're sitting in the chairs and we're like, oh, we're doing a podcast.
It's a little stiff to start.
Yeah, it's a little stiff.
Okay, I didn't mean it like that, bro. You didn't have to take it like that.
but it's like, like once we get more and more episodes down, I think eventually, like, I love the vibe that we just turn the camera on and we're here and we're chilling talking about something at the end of the day.
That's what it was.
That's
man.
what it
was
is,
just
dude.
Me catching. That's what today was for me.
Yeah.
It was just me catching up with my friends.
That's all it
Yeah,
needed
like,
to be. I did have one more thing I wanted to ask you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll care, maybe you won't.
Shoot.
Jake Paul and Nate Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little late because it happened kind of like a
Yeah.
week ago and we haven't recorded it in 2 weeks.
Did he,
But
like,
I have to know.
Did you-
Would you guys even care about that kind of stuff? Or
I
no?
heard about it.
Did you see
I didn't
about
see
it? Oh, well, that's a different. Like you have to see it to understand.
Did he just like,
Oh, he out cold. Like he
Rinsed him.
Like I like that guy's got. I don't even know. I didn't see the aftermath, but like they pulled a stretcher out for him, dude.
really?
Yeah. I don't know if they actually used it, but there was a stretcher on the stream. He got knocked.
Boxing is something else, man. Like, I don't know. That was kind of like
Wow.
that
I
was
did
kind
not
of
know it was that serious.
I mean, you haven't seen the memes?
No.
Oh, maybe I'm just like I have like a different following.
You
I
didn't see
feel
the
like it's
memes
just
of Nate
everywhere. Like
Robinson
I feel like
knocked out, placed in different
that,
places. Like
it's sports, but it traversed everything.
yeah,
I mean, like it was gaming. YouTubers were talking about it.
people putting, like,
ESPN was
revive
talking
symbols?
about it.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. I think I might have seen that.
Yeah.
Like it was everywhere. I don't care what scene you're in. Like this went across the board. People like you haven't seen the Nate Robinson
You can't lose
challenge?
fights on the internet now, man. You'll
the
get
Nate
meme for the
Robinson
rest
challenge?
of your life.
Bro, you haven't seen that?
Those are tough.
Oh, you have to just look it up. Like
Those
it's
are
just
tough.
him. Like people are just like laying dead kind of thing. That's what. It's a
That has to be
thing.
so humiliating.
That's what I'm saying. That's super humiliating.
Can't lose a fight on the internet in 2020.
But this guy
Your
was
life is
like,
over.
like he was in the NBA for 16 years.
Yeah.
He was like a great player in the NBA.
Yeah.
And he just went in there and got absolutely obliterated. So anyway, my question to you was like, do you guys care about this? Because it's all over the internet. It doesn't matter who you
My
are, you've
interest
probably
was that,
seen it.
Like, it's just as far as like boxing, because like there's like striking sports like boxing and stuff. Like I don't. That's kind of why I liked jujitsu, because it's like a lot more like ground based. But like
what can you explain that? Like what is it? Jujitsu?
jujitsu, yeah,
Like, how do you like?
it's like it's the most like one of the most like ground based martial arts ever. It's like not really wrestling, because it's more just like grappling, but like there's a part of that in jujitsu. But it's like it's basically how to like submit someone from the ground. Like you can. The thing is, jujitsu is the nerdiest martial art, and that's why I love it. It's literally like it's like a video game in a lot of ways, and I'm not even kidding. There's like there's counters to all kinds of things you can like. There's like
You press Y and
yeah, you can like submit someone from like being in guard, which is like on your back. If someone's mounting you, you can. There's like cool ways you can like submit them as they're over top of
like
you.
chokeholds and stuff?
Yeah, like you can triangle choke people like from guard, from the ground, like, which is it's complicated. It's technical. It's really nerdy, but that's kind of why I like it. But like I like watching like striking martial art, but I don't think I could like.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't be about it. Like,
Well, okay, you can be about it, but what if they're paying you like?
is that worth like a
Let me
lifelong head
propose
injury?
something to you here. Well, that's why I
scary to
asked the
me,
question.
man.
I'm going to basically ask both of you. If you get offered $1 million to step into the ring with another one of our guys, like in the YouTube scene, for
A
one of the, like,
million?
yeah, $1 million. You got it. Same thing. Same thing.
Striking?
Six rounds, 3-minute rounds. You get 3 months to train for it. Nah, I'll give you 6 months.
Explain
to train for
striking. Is that
just
Striking is
boxing.
actually
Just punching
throwing
each
punches
other.
and kicks.
okay? You can
No
kick.
kicks, no kicks. Just boxing.
Well, yeah, you can't kick in boxing, but that's like a strike.
Just put yourself in, like,
So just boxing, basically.
yeah. So like, I don't know. I'm sure you guys heard about Logan Paul KSI.
Yeah,
right.
I
So
watched
like
that, yeah.
it's a YouTuber boxing thing, right? It was more legit than it's. I think it was more legit than it sounds because they actually took it seriously.
Yeah.
But if you got offered $1 million guaranteed, and then if you win, you get more based on the pay-per-views and whatnot, million flat guaranteed. Are you doing it?
Against one of like you guys.
It'd be an opponent that's similar to the way they had it, right? So it's like someone that's in your weight class, that's
JC.
also a YouTuber.
Yo, Chop is going to kill me.
Oh, yeah, sure. So you guys are, yeah, sure. Say it's one of you guys against each other. You got 6 months to train for it.
Christ.
Million bands, dude. I'm down.
I think I would do it.
You would do it.
I think I would do it because I remember specifically watching Scarce. And I remember, and dude,
That's right. He did box in
and
it.
I remember how motivating it was when Scarce like went in and people were like, oh, Scarce is probably not gonna be able to like do it. But he tried his ass off.
Yeah.
And like people were like,
Respect.
honestly, like much respect to Scarce, right? And he like lost a lot of weight for that too. I remember that.
That was, yeah.
It was insane.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, if you're gonna pay me $1 million and
get
I
in
get
shape.
to focus for 6 months on getting in the best shape of my life, to me that's a win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get Nate Robinson.
Well,
Yeah.
But I'm saying
Because then
If
I don't
it
know
ends
what's
in
a
honor,
win-win.
we're good.
yeah, I think I would do it even if I know I'm gonna get rocked.
So JC is willing to do it for $1 million, even if he's gonna get rocked.
I honestly think even if I got KO'd or whatever, like I $1 million, dude, and I actually
Is
try
$1
to get in
million
shape.
worth your dignity?
Okay, so
that's the question.
so if you do it for $1 million, what's the lowest you would do it for?
$1 million.
So $1 million is the threshold. It's a barrier to entry.
I think it'd be lower for
Bro,
me.
if I
think
put
it'd be lower
if I
for
put
me.
$500,000
$500K,
on
I'll
this
do it.
table
I
and
would do it
said
right
you
now.
got to box each other, you got 6 months, you have to train for it.
500K, yes sir, I will do it. Absolutely.
How low would you go then?
I think that's it.
So you're telling me if I put 250,000, if I put $250,000 in cash on this table, said you can take it.
But
you gotta hop in the ring.
I would have to sacrifice a lot of other things in my life.
That's what I'm saying. It's more than just the money. It's more than just the money. It's you're getting in there, which is like you don't underestimate what it means to get in the ring. You haven't seen the knockout, so I don't think you're fully grasping how serious it can be.
I'm saying.
I mean, this
I'm
dude
saying-
literally left Earth for 5 minutes. He was gone.
I'm 500K. That's
500K is your
yeah.
threshold. Because yeah, if you're gonna train,
500K is a lot of money.
Let's do it.
That's a lot of money.
it is a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
I would say 500K. I don't want to go lower than that because, like, that would sacrifice like a lot of things in my life right now that I have going.
That's
on.
the thing is like you would have to probably take off from your day job, and you could probably still stream. But,
Yeah, but
I don't know, man. Like you got to lock in for 6 months. You're gonna learn. You have to learn how to fight in 6 months and get in shape for 6 rounds.
That's tough.
That is a lot.
That's hard.
A lot to do.
500K.
500K. What would you take? What's the lowest?
Am I fighting JC? 500K.
Yeah, sure. There's so you guys each get 500K, and you're gonna duke it out. All right.
If anybody's gonna knock me out, like I'd be happy to be chopped. To be honest.
So you don't even care about the actual fight.
Well,
you just care about the money, and then you're
would-
like, whatever happens.
Well, I'd prepare for it, and I would actually try, like Scarce did. That's what I'm saying.
So Scarce is your motivation. It sounds
Scarce
like.
is my
This guy is
motivation.
your idol when it comes to boxing.
I'm saying that was a lot of people gave him so much respect for that, dude.
I would, dude. I give
was-
respect to anyone who hops in there.
he
That's
did,
it. It's
like,
a serious commitment.
like Scarce is in the ring, what? And then he does it, and he's like in shape for it too. Like it was
Yeah.
crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool.
all right. Well, I mean,
that's-
so I guess the last
So
thing.
who's putting it up? That's the question.
Well, there you go, bro. If they're gonna do it, they might do it out. But so if Jake Paul fights KSI, because I think that's probably a logical next fight.
You think that's gonna happen?
Yeah. I think it's
There's a lot of
it's
money
bound
that
to. I
will
mean, there's
happen
all
with
kinds of
that,
talk
yeah.
about Conor McGregor, and like that's a far fetch.
Yeah.
I think like he would get his ass kicked at this point if he fought someone legit. But I think KSI Jake Paul could happen. Who would win?
Did Jake Paul beat Deji?
Oh yeah,
I think Jake will probably win.
that's what I think too.
I don't know.
You don't know. You didn't see though, so he doesn't know yet.
I maybe would, yeah, maybe if I would kind of.
Did you see the Logan Paul KSI or no?
Yes.
You saw that? Okay.
Yes, and it was very close.
Yeah, I actually watched that back the other night. I'm actually, I think Jake will win this pretty easily.
But then again, like you just never know. Like
Who knows?
Yeah.
Don't know. A lot of people thought Nate would win, and oh man, you gotta watch this video, dude. Like I can't believe you haven't seen it.
We'll show you it.
Yeah.
It's been all over the internet.
I think I've seen the memes, but I haven't like.
You haven't really looked into it too much.
Yeah.
Just like a guy laying there. It's like, whatever.
Well, it's
All
like
right.
for me, it's
guy.
like sports, right? Like
See, that's what I'm saying. That's the only thing that I don't like. That our friend group, like for me, seriously,
like,
is a
dude,
lack. It's
F
like
these
I can't
fools.
say like no one understands anything about what
I think
I'm
that's
saying.
a trade-off though, Matt.
It is
It's
a
like
trade-off.
when you hang out with like a bunch of like video creating nerds, it's like that's a
No,
trade-off.
but
you
I'm in
get.
that scene too. Like,
Sure, but-
I'm not any
yeah.
different in that way. But it is what it is. I understand that, and I know that. But it's like, dang, like
we got to get to that
he
level.
doesn't even know what the meme. He didn't even understand it. Like,
we got,
damn,
we got to get to that level where we just start playing golf.
golf. We're talking about boxing, and you bring up golf. You couldn't be farther apart.
Boxing,
baseball.
jiu-jitsu, and then golf.
Golf.
Hey, you know what I have in my car right outside?
Clubs.
2 gloves right now with a baseball. You want?
Oh, I'm down to throw. Yeah, I like playing baseball. But it's
That
boring
reminds
to
me
watch.
of my father.
I'll be your dad fire if you want.
miss
I'll throw the
Dad.
ball with you. I got a glove too.
I have it in the car always.
Let's do it, dude. Let's toss it around. All right. Well, I had to ask. I had to know.
Yeah, no,
so now we know these guys will fight each other for 500,000. So
So there it is.
that's. I mean.
So that is
wow.
the next video you will see 6 months from now. Instead of the 9 gauntlet and all those other memes, it's gonna be the actual gauntlet
The actual gauntlet.
of me and Ch0pper,
Dude.
I guess.
That's just full MMA.
See, he's learning jujitsu, so like he's
Dude,
gonna
he
want to
would
take
just-
you full body. Dang. All right. Well, unless you guys got anything else, I feel like that was
Good discussion.
I feel like
Great
that's it.
show.
Unless you have anything else, Ch0pper, since
That was a
as a
good
guest.
talk, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's great to have you here, man.
Thanks.
Seriously.
No, thanks again for having me. That was
It was very like out of nowhere. I feel like, but it's
dude.
great.
He just
Worked
hits me
out.
up 2 days ago. Like, yo, Chop's coming to town this weekend. I was like, oh, let's get him on the show, bro. Let's hang out. Let's do this.
Dude, Matt's world
Sick.
lit up, dude.
Dude, I haven't seen anyone in forever.
Yeah.
I was not expecting someone to come in the middle of the pandemic to LA, where it's like the most lockdown, I would say, from anywhere I've been at least.
Yeah.
It's polar opposite of Florida, dude. They don't give a single damn in Florida. They're just doing it. They're just doing it up.
Yep.
So, but here is like,
Yeah, I went to
can't do anything.
I went to Charleston to visit my my sister, and oh my gosh, over there, dude, people are just living.
They're just living
living.
life. I mean, hey, man, power to them. You know, everyone teach his own. Like,
just
I
living.
get it. I get it at this
just living.
point. So,
But yeah, no, I'm definitely glad I made the trip,
I
and I
respect
appreciate you having me on the show. It was,
absolutely, man. Where can they find you?
You guys can find me on YouTube, and I stream on Twitch as well. And those are my main endeavors right now, and that's where I'm the most active.
Hell yeah,
Ch0pper
bro.
with the 0, right?
The 0.
Chop with a 0. Or Sam.
Or
But you probably,
I
you
like
prob-
how we started saying, yeah, we're gonna say Sam.
Yeah.
We still said Ch0pper the entire time.
you're not going to find him at Sam, probably. All right.
All right.
See you guys
so
all
much.
next
Yeah,
week.
Thank you for being on, man.
Yeah. Good shit, guys.